Fellow Falcoholics, what is up? Welcome to the Falcoholic Lives Bucs vs Packers playoff watch party. Apologies for the delay. My stream was, deciding to just wait until literally kickoff to come through, but it is working now, so that's good news. Welcome to all of the usual suspects today. We appreciate you tuning in. I'm, of course, Kevin Knight, joined by Evan Birchfield at Evan Birchfield on Twitter. Evan, how are you doing today? Bucs will get the ball first, by the way.
I'm good. Love some conference championship football. Yeah, some pretty good matchups today too. I know we're just doing Packers and Bucs, but Bills and Chiefs will be a pretty good watch also after.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one too. I'm gonna be watching that one later. I know, like, as a upstate New York resident now, I have to be like a Bills fan. Like, I just don't have a choice. So, I'm excited for the Bills. Hopefully they can pull it off because they've suffered a lot too. As Falcons fans, we should be their brethren in suffering. So, I have to say go Bills, even though I love Mahomes. Mahomes is a big Mahomes fan.
I'm pretty sure if you're as long as you're not a Chiefs or another team in the AFC East, you're probably pulling for the Bills this playoff. Like, it's just they're the super underdog, and as you mentioned, just never won. I mean, lost 4 straight Super Bowls. Like, how could you not pull for them? And plus, their fan base is like really cool. Always
They're really
giving to
cool.
charity, and
Yeah,
they're fun. So yeah.
I've met like some really cool Bills fans up here. Jay Adams, who used to work for the
Yep.
Falcons. Folks that have been around for a while probably remember him. He's a Bills fan, and we know he has a good taste in football stuff. So, shout out to Jay. I know he's excited for this game today. So I feel like if the Bills can win a Super Bowl, then that means that the curses are being lifted. So the Falcons will have a chance as well. So I feel like we need to root for the curses to be lifted, as many as possible, to get the weight of those curses, out of here. But yeah, guys, I do see some questions in the chat. We're going to answer those throughout the show. If you guys have questions, you can throw them in there. If you have particular burning questions, you could donate to the show, and that will contractually obligate us to read your questions. You can, if you want to find the link to that, that's in the show description. Also, you can type !tip or !donate in the chat to have the link sent to you as well. All right, there's a nice big catch for Mike Evans. So it looks like the Buccaneers are rolling right down the field here. Yeah, that was a nice catch. Big fan of that.
Yeah, that was a 3rd and 4. Pretty pass too.
Yeah, very nice. All right, yeah. So they're already almost at the 30 of the Packers. So it's an offensive explosion early in this game. Shout out George Costanza, welcome back, brother. We missed you on Wednesday, so glad to see you here again. Paul Mack, what's up, man? Tyler Raines, all the usual suspects are here, I see. So thanks, guys, for coming on.
These two used to be in the same division a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think it was like the NFC Central or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Man, that was a while ago. I remember.
Yeah.
It was wild. Everything used I remember the Falcons used to play the 49ers all the time. That was weird.
Yeah. That's how it was when I was growing up. 49ers and Rams, I think.
Yeah. What's up, Jonathan Wiggins? It's going well, man. Oh man, there's a really bad drop by Fournette there. Yeah, man, it's going well. We're excited. I'm gonna be taking this next week off to go skiing at Lake Placid, so I'm excited about that. So spoiler alert, there will be no Wednesday show because of that. But we're here today, and we're gonna be talking to you guys. Where's Solaire? I don't know. Solaire's around. I talked to him earlier, so I know he's around. I'm sure. So my next mock, actually, I have actually picked for the mock. But as I said, because I'm not going to be here next week, it's probably not going to come out until the following week. So like 2 weeks from now. But if you guys are nice enough, I might tell you some of the mock draft picks, because I actually have completed the mock. There's a nice catch to Godwin as well. So yeah, Bucs are rolling right now. It was weird. I think that was one of the weirdest games of the year, right? When they just kind of crapped on the Packers that week. So
they destroyed them.
Yeah, so they're off to a good start. They've been pass protecting well too.
And it was in Tampa, I believe. So I don't know. I mean, I guess the cold's really not affecting them too much. I know it wouldn't affect Brady really, but
yeah,
doesn't seem to be affecting anybody else.
Yeah, shout out to George, by the way, doing that flatbed work that just is so necessary. Like, that driving, man, it's really important. I'm sure business is great, especially these days too. So, shout out to you, man, for doing that hard work to keep everybody else supplied, man. We all appreciate that. All right, 2nd and 7.
I'm glad the Bucs went back to their what they're wearing now. Like I know that
Yeah,
they
yeah,
like a lot of people wanted the creamsicle, but it's such a clean look compared to
it
that
is. Yeah,
garbage
yeah,
they had with the like weird looking numbers and ugh.
yeah. Dom, we're definitely gonna talk about that Stafford news at some point for sure because that is big. Man, there's Fournette with another brick hands drop. I remember, man, imagine taking a running back in the top 5 that can't catch. Could not be me. Okay, could not be me. All right, yeah, the Bucks got a 3rd and 7 here. Yeah, I'm sure everyone's like a little bit ahead of us because we have to watch the stream, and then obviously this
Yeah,
stream is
I
like
saw, but
slightly
I didn't want to
behind.
give
Yeah, it's
anything
okay. It's
away.
okay. I can see they're doing some sort of replay on your TV,
Oh,
but
sorry.
that's okay. It's okay. I can't actually see very much. It's like a slight corner of action or something. But um,
hmm
oh yeah, wow,
I'll
yeah,
say this: the Packers'
yeah,
defense did not seem all there the first drive.
yeah. No, I mean
Like
that was
usually they got
dominance.
like a decent pass rush with the Smith brothers, and there
Right,
really
right.
wasn't anything.
No, yeah, that was bad. That guy was not even in Evans's zip code. Oh yeah, who's that?
hmm
Yeah, man, poor guy. He did not have
That was
much
a
of a
good
chance.
throw.
Yeah, that was a good throw too. It was right over his head. Um, all right, well, early scoring here, so that's exciting. I'm gonna go grab my drink while we're at this commercial break. I'll be right back. Evan, you're gonna have to entertain the people for like 2 minutes while I'm gone. And by
Oh,
and by
okay.
that and by
Oh, well,
that I
I'll
mean
bring up.
yeah, you don't have to
You're
do
gonna
very
come back,
much.
and I will be juggling.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go for my next trick. Yeah. Okay, guys. I'll be right
hmm
back.
What card do I have? Yeah, I don't want to talk about the Stafford news without Kevin to share his thoughts, but it's pretty interesting in how it could affect the Falcons. So, where's everybody watching from? There's something to talk about. Because one thing I've noticed with a lot of Falcons fans is there are some in Atlanta, of course, but there's a lot of our fan base is pretty scattered overall. Tampa, okay. Okay, so there's actually a bunch from Georgia area. I was born in Western North Carolina near Asheville. I don't know if anybody's heard of it, but that's how I became a fan. But at the time, there was no Carolina Panthers. So my dad, who was a Vikings fan, um, took me to Atlanta when I was 6 to watch the Falcons and Vikings. And ever since then, I've been a Falcons fan. So that's how I became a Falcons fan. And um, different times for sure, because it's like back then you couldn't just go on Amazon or NFLshop.com and buy Falcons gear. So it was like if I found anything Falcons related, it was like a huge deal. And that's just living one state over. So I can imagine like for Jason Greenway, like San Diego, like trying to find Falcons stuff or um, oh, Jazz, wow, in Birmingham, England. I don't know what you would have had to do. There
Yeah,
wasn't
man.
really like an eBay or anything.
Right. Yeah. But I remember back in the day, it was like, yeah, like you were saying, just finding any kind of Falcons gear was like, oh, this is like a treasure trove. Like I
Mm-hmm.
just gotta pick it up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now you can go on probably like a billion websites, eBay, Amazon, NFL Shop, Fanatics, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
You can get it customized too. See, back then that wasn't even there was like what, one or two jerseys you could find realistically per team.
Right. Yeah, it was like, yeah, I mean back in the day it would have been like Vic and like maybe man, trying to remember who else you would have even been able to get. I mean at some point you could
Like
get
before
Roddy
that
and
would have been Jamal Anderson and Chris
yeah,
Chandler. Like I don't think you
basically,
were
yeah.
gonna find like a I don't know Keith Brooking jersey or something like that until later on. But
Right. Yeah, I like it now that you can order just about, and you can even order practice squad players if you go onto the team
hmm
website, which is really cool to be able to
yeah,
support, uh, a variety of players, not just the big name
yeah.
guys.
I mean, I got a Jack Crawford jersey.
Yeah. Hell yeah, Jack
They weren't
Crawford.
just laying around. You had to get that like
Right, right.
special made. I mean, it's a little extra, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, if it's like somebody you're wanting to support or whatever, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or just to stand out and get like a like right now, I guess be Foy would be a cool one because
Hmm,
I
hmm.
don't think his is like right now. If you went on the web any of those websites, it's like Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, probably Ridley, and then like Grady Jarrett. But like you're not going to just find a Foy jersey on there
Right, right.
or someone like that.
Hmm. All right, here we go. Packers are starting things off with a nice big play there to Lewis. I don't even know who that is, but I probably should. But I don't know every player on the Packers. In case you were wondering, my knowledge does not extend that far.
The one thing I love about Aaron Rodgers is that he refuses to like update his helmet. Like it's like the same. Like I think it's a more modern, like inside the helmet.
Yeah,
But if you look at it, it's like
yeah, it's
there's
like really
nothing
old looking.
special about it.
Yeah, it's just like he's probably got some sort of superstition around it or something like that.
hmm
I know a lot of players are like that.
Like everyone adapted. Like even Matt Ryan's got the I don't know what it's actually
I
called,
think
but
it's
it's like a
called,
newer version of
yeah,
the
the
helmet.
Vicus. The Vicus is what a lot of players are
Yeah,
using now. I think it has that like little cutout thing on the front. It looks kind of
it's got
like
like a
a,
little hexagon
yeah,
or
like a
something.
rhombus
Yeah,
or something. Yeah.
yep,
Yeah. So I think those look cool. I don't know. I definitely wear them. I think they look pretty cool.
yeah, they do.
Same with the visors. Like I
But
don't know
then
why
you
you
got like,
wouldn't wear a smoked out visor, just to be cool.
hmm Rogers has like that like it's got no bar up here, and it's just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the
Man,
most basic thing. But
man, he sidearmed that ball at like a million miles an hour, where he had to like literally stop to catch it. Like it was so powerful.
hmm
Maybe throw with a little touch, Aaron Rodgers. Just what I'm just gonna say. Just saying, just saying. 3rd and 9 now. Okay, okay.
and he's the favorite to be MVP, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Because he won first team All Pro. Usually that means you're gonna win MVP too. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little rebel. Are we rooting for Falcons legend Matt LaFleur? I mean, I'm just more rooting against Tom Brady. Like Tom Brady got our praise for one game for beating the Saints. That's it. That's over now. So, uh, and
I have to say though, like, oh, I
no,
didn't
go.
mean to
Yeah,
cut you
yeah.
off.
Go for it. Go for it. Mhm.
I've always been like one of those people that's like, when people talk about Brady being the GOAT, I'd be like, oh, but we're just going to ignore like Vinatieri making field goals in the Super Bowl and
Right,
the
right.
Falcons just destroying themselves, and like he didn't get there on his own. But like it would be hard to ignore him literally going to a new team.
Yeah,
I mean, even now, just being in the NFC Championship um, is very impressive. Like his first year on a new team,
yeah, yeah.
uh, and NFC South. That I mean, like, is actually a pretty good. I know we struggled and stuff, but like what they did to the Saints
Hmm, hmm,
after being swept by them during the season,
hmm.
like it would be very impressive if he was to win. I mean, I don't know how you could ignore like his GOAT status or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's very impressive what he's done.
Because I don't
Obviously,
think
yeah.
like Peyton Manning didn't win right away in Denver, right?
Right.
Didn't
I think
he
it
like
was.
it took like a year or two?
I think it took a year, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it feels like ancient history now. It wasn't really that long ago.
Hmm.
Back in the end of the Mike Smith era.
Yeah, I mean, because a lot of people, including myself, I'm like, this probably isn't going to work well. Like we've seen Tampa get these like veteran players, and it's like they
Mm-hmm,
look good
mm-hmm.
on paper, and then they just like implode or whatever. You
Right,
know,
right.
go like 7-9, and it's like whatever. But
Yeah, yeah.
um, they are, right now looking pretty good against the Packers in the NFC Championship. So they could be the first. I think it's the first team to ever play a home game in the Super Bowl,
Yeah, yeah, that would be
right?
pretty
Like,
incredible. Yeah.
forget winning it. I think it's the first time anybody's even played in their
Yeah,
home stadium.
yeah. So
Um,
that would be
and
pretty
naturally,
crazy.
Tom Brady's involved with
Yes,
that.
of
So,
course. That would be pretty typical. Yeah. But yeah, guys, I do see some questions in the chat we're gonna get to. Um, just a reminder, if you don't mind throwing a like at the stream, that helps other folks find it on the YouTube. So we appreciate that. Hit that subscribe button too if you happen to not already be subscribed. A lot of you have been subscribing as of late. I believe we've picked up over 400 subscribers over the last month. So shout out to you guys for being awesome, because that's incredible numbers. I think we took over. Like we started streaming on this channel, and it was around 1,000 from back in like 2013 when someone else was running it entirely. And so like since then, earlier this year, I think this off season, it's gone up, 1,500 subscribers or something in like 6 or 7 months. So big shout out to you guys for making that happen. We really appreciate your support. All right, yeah, I know. Um, let me find it. There was one earlier that I wanted to get to. Um, Hold on.
while you're looking for that, I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
want to
go for it.
read
Yeah.
Lil Rebel's comment because I
Mm.
thought it was funny. He said, or she said, it would be so sad if the Bills finally get Tom Brady out of the division and then have to play him in the Super Bowl.
Man, yeah, that would be rough. That'd be
That would be
super
like
rough.
the
Yeah.
worst luck.
Yeah, I think it may have also been Lil Rebel that asked about Falcons trading down with the Lions now that they're going to be trading Matt Stafford. Yeah, and I tweeted about that. I do think that's a possibility. I think the Lions wouldn't have to trade a huge amount to get up to 4 from 7. The Falcons probably would still have the opportunity to draft someone like Trey Lance, assuming that it wasn't like the fourth quarterback was going at 7. At 7, the Falcons would have their choice of basically anyone they wanted to take at 4, except maybe a quarterback. I mean, it depends, but I think at 7, Falcons could get Micah Parsons or one of the corners or something like that. So that would make a lot of sense to me, and probably pick up a few day 2 picks as well. So I think that makes a ton of sense. That would be definitely an avenue I'd be looking into. All right, Bucs are moving here. Who's that? Braid's a little short of the sticks there. So he's going to be facing a third down. But can the Bucs, can the Packers defense, do anything to actually slow down the Bucs? It's yet to happen. I mean, it's only been one drive, so it's not like there's too much to go off of. But right, 3rd and 1. I'm sure you already know what happened.
Something must have happened to
Yeah.
Ronald Jones's hand. It looked like he had like a little, like a almost like a club on it.
Yeah,
Maybe
they did
not.
pick up
Maybe
the
he like
first here.
hurt his finger or something,
Yeah, I think. Yeah, there is some kind of wrap going on there. I don't know what's.
or his
Yeah.
hand. Maybe, I
Hmm.
don't know.
Yeah, no, it was like his bottom 2 fingers that looked like are wrapped up.
Hmm.
Is Micah Parsons a pass rusher in Dean Pease defense? At least in part, I would think so. I think he'll play some outside linebacker in that scenario. Probably also play some inside. So yeah, I mean, I think he would play probably a third down pass rushing role, probably a interior base package role. But I think he's versatile enough to do both. So I think he would be moved around like a chess piece in that scenario. That pick is probably more of a forward-thinking pick. Also, like he's probably going to be your long-term Mike in a 3-4. But that probably means that with that Micah Parsons pick, either Deion Jones or Foye are probably leaving the Falcons at some point, because they're not paying two linebackers big money. So they're either going to keep Dion and let Foye walk and get like a fourth or fifth round comp pick, or cut Dion, save all that money, and then pay Foye probably less. But we'll see. That was a nice tackle. So we'll see. We'll see if this third down. I think the Bucs are 100% on third down thus far, so it's 3rd and 14. All right, well they're gonna, it's not gonna get any easier than this.
Yeah.
This is like some Falcons-esque defense right now. Oh, like a little tunnel screen that goes for a first down. Yeah, that is very Falcons-esque. It's extremely. What is it with Green Bay and NFC Championships just turning to total shit? I feel like the last time they were in the NFC Championship, they got crapped on too by the Falcons. So, just a little tunnel screen. Wow. Dirk Cutter's screaming right now, like, "Oh, this is what I wanted. Why didn't it work for me?" Yeah, Buckets.
Yeah, Dirk Cutter rode off into the sunset.
He did. All right, it's an incomplete pass. Everyone on the sidelines very upset. Yeah, there's not very much pressure going on, that's for sure.
Brady is slinging it though.
Yeah,
I thought maybe they would run it a little more to preserve his arm, at least until the second half. But
the Packers' run defense is not good either, so that would make sense. But no, they're just slinging it.
I don't know why I just noticed, but they have a decent amount of fans too, in the stands.
Yeah, I guess. I think they were loosening some of the regulations for the playoff games to let more fans in.
I mean, that looks like more than I've seen this whole year.
Yeah, that actually looks pretty full. Good surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew Brotherton. What do we? Yeah, finally they. Yeah, speaking of pressure, finally get a sack. That's nice to see. Yeah, Kenny Clark, man, he's good. Underrated nose tackle there. Andrew Brotherton. What do we expect from the offensive line this year? Do you think the Falcons take a guard early? Does Hennessy take over at center? Yeah. So I mean, I it depends. I think if they trade down, they're likely to take an offensive lineman pretty early. So I do think that's certainly on the table. If they don't trade down, it's really hard to work an offensive lineman into those first 3 picks, because it's probably going to be, if they stay at 4, it's probably going to be quarterback at 4, and then it's going to be probably edge in the 2nd round and probably safety in the 3rd round. They kind of are locked into those spots, not just because they have those as big needs, but because I think the depth is just the best at those spots. I think honestly, those are the best values at those particular places. I think you can still get a really good edge guy like a Jalen Phillips or someone like that in the 2nd, and then a starting caliber safety in the 3rd, like Richie Grant or Andre Sisco or something like that. So yeah, it's going to be hard to work in an offensive lineman or even a running back, like somebody else mentioned running back. It's going to be hard to work in a running back into those top 3 picks too. It's certainly possible if someone falls out of the 1st round, like a Najee Harris. But in recent mocks I've been doing, I mean, Javonte Williams doesn't even make it out of the 1st round, which is really weird. But I mean, that's just kind of happening. So Yeah, bring back Tyson Braylo. I mean, I wouldn't wait. I wouldn't rule it out. I mean, Tyson Braylo obviously has experience in Atlanta. He was kind of a fan punching bag, but look, I mean, he was a starting caliber tackle in Tennessee. Uh, and if he's willing to come back for cheap, we know he has some guard flexibility too. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked at all if they do bring back some Braylo if they have some money. Um, yeah, and Hennessy's going to play center. At least we're going to hope that he plays center. If he doesn't play center, that's
I,
going to be a
I
problem.
wonder in the draft late, Chris Lindstrom's brother, Alec Lindstrom, who played at Boston College, is a center, and I think he played some guard too.
Mhm.
So I wonder if they'll have him on the radar as like a late round offensive line pick.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think they want Hennessy to start, obviously, but yeah, I think Alec Lindstrom, with the family connection and the fact that he'll be available later, absolutely is someone they could consider because he's, similar player to his brother, not quite as good, but still a quality offensive lineman who has that center versatility as well. So that would absolutely not surprise me to see that. Also, George Costanza with the $5, brother. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate you. Sorry about missing the show on Wednesday. No worries, brother. Look, you come to like every single show. Okay, you can have a day off. If I can take a day off every now and then, you can take a day off. Don't worry about it. Says he was working overtime, hauling some heavy pipe out of Birmingham. Had to rework and then retarp it. Fun times. Yeah, that sounds terrible. I don't understand the specifics of that. I've watched Ice Road Truckers, but I don't think that qualifies me to comment on trucking related matters. So I'm gonna defer to you. That does sound terrible. He also says, don't know why ATL fans hate Brady. He did what he was supposed to do in the Super Bowl. Blame Quinn for blowing it. Yeah, I do. I mean, personally, I just find Brady kind of comes off as like a bit of an asshole, so I don't like that. But like, I respect him as a player. Like, I think he's obviously a great quarterback. I just don't personally like him. I think he comes off a little arrogant. But is it colored by the Super Bowl? Probably. But, am I petty? People might say that I'm petty, and they'd be right. So that's just But no, I mean, I don't think people need to hate him for winning the Super Bowl against Atlanta. It's more I find his attitude a little bit annoying. But I mean, in terms of a football player, I mean, if you don't respect him as a football player, then I think you have some issues. Because I don't think there's any way you could like not respect him as a football player. But he's very good. Certainly very good. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'll take a nice long swig here for you, bud. Yeah, George, I don't know if you saw on the Patreon also, and for those that are also patrons, the patron Q&A is going to be Friday, this coming Friday at 8:10 Eastern. So if you're a patron, please let us know if that's a good time for you, if you can make it. If you can't make it, please just send us as many questions as you want. And we're going to answer them. We're going to be on for 30 or so minutes, depending on how many questions there are, answering questions. And if you're a fan in the chat now and you're interested in taking part in this Q&A session, you can still subscribe to the Patreon. As long as you get it in before Friday, we will get an invite out to you, and you're welcome to come to that. So that's patreon.com/Falcoholic Live. I know it says if you look at the patron tiers that like it's the most expensive ones that get access to it. To start out, all patrons are going to get access to it. So don't worry about that at this point. So yeah, thank you to all of our patrons that do support us, especially the super early adopters. It's been going for like a month now, so we really appreciate you guys for jumping on the bandwagon there. Well, Jonathan, your wish is our command. Matt Ryan hater Adnan Ikic is here. So Adnan, how are you doing, brother?
Sounds like my timing couldn't be better.
Exactly. Someone just asked where you were, so it's perfect.
Man. So how long do you guys want that bit to continue on for? Because
are you starting to like catch flack on Twitter for us?
Not yet.
Not but, yet. Okay. Yeah.
I know it's coming.
It's coming. Someone's gonna definitely misinterpret. I'm gonna like tweet it out sometime, and someone's gonna take it seriously, and then all the fun will be ruined. So.
Oh yeah, like he's gonna threaten my life or something on Twitter. Like,
how dare you? Like they're actually gonna like in the next couple of years like trade Ryan or something, and then they're gonna blame Adnan for it. It's like Adnan, you asked for this.
I didn't know I had that kind of pull on the team.
Yeah, he's NFL insider Adnan Ikic. He's pulling the strings behind the curtain. He's like the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I'm actually the puppet master behind this
The
team.
puppet
I'm the
master,
reason
yes.
Dirk Cutter was here all those years.
So you're the one that denied our credentials. The self-own. Oh man.
Yeah. It was just to throw you guys off the tracks, you know.
Mhm. Yep. Makes sense. Makes sense.
I see. The Bucs are winning.
They
Gross.
are. Yeah, they have been pretty dominant this quarter. I think they had like the Packers got their first third down stop in the entire game on this last drive. So I think they'd allowed 5 straight conversions. So that was not great defense there.
I will say it's absolutely wild how in the Aaron Rodgers era, the Falcons have had more home games in the NFC Championship than the Bucs. Given
That's
just how
true.
dominant the Bucs have been, like throughout that entire era, almost never missing the playoffs, winning that division year in and year out. This is their first home game.
That's true. Yeah, there was definitely that early 2000s era where they were like really rolling under Gruden.
No,
Yeah.
no, but that was before Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But it's unfortunate for them. Like the one year they have the home game is when home field advantage is really mitigated this year.
Right, right. Yeah, we were talking that like they actually do have some like it looks like they have a decent number of fans there, but like still, it's not the same as like a full stadium. Um, Particularly there because it gets super loud in Green Bay.
Oh yeah.
They must have did some sort of lottery system because those kind of tickets are like everybody wants for like a Green Bay game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and my mistake to the chat. Yes, I meant Packers. I think I misspoke. Did I say Bucks?
Yeah, you did. That's why I was like getting
Yeah.
thrown off a little bit. But yeah, that makes more sense.
Completely misspoke. Typo.
Verbal typo. Yeah.
Verbal typo. Yeah, I meant the Green Bay Packers in the Aaron Rodgers era.
Yeah, that makes
First
sense.
home game in the NFC Championship.
Yeah. I was mentioning earlier, the last time they were in the NFC Championship, they also got crapped on. So hopefully that doesn't happen again to them this time. But
yeah, against Kyle Shanahan.
mm-hmm.
Like Kyle Shanahan just absolutely destroyed them twice.
That was an amazing game. I got so wasted. Not on purpose. It was the people. I feel like George was at that bar because they just random people just kept buying me shots. I was like the only I was in Ohio at the time. I was like the only Falcons fan, and like once the Falcons got up like 20 points, people just started like being really excited for me. So I had a good time. I had to rewatch the game later, but to write about it.
I watched it at a Hooters that night.
Oh hell yeah! There you go. That sounds like an exciting time as well. So.
Yeah, I was actually at the Falcons Seahawks game the week before. It was just a spontaneous thing. A few of my friends just messaged me, made a group chat, and they were like, it was Saturday or Sunday, it was like a Monday, and the game was that coming Saturday, and they're like, let's just get tickets. Like we found these tickets. It was like $120, $130 each. It was in the 300s, but it wasn't like corner 300s. It was 300s, like middle or so. But it didn't matter. It was like a playoff game in the Georgia Dome.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like hesitant at first, and then I'm like, screw it. Like, how many times are the Falcons playing a home game in the playoff?
Exactly.
And as we came to realize, oh my goodness, there's a score.
There's a score.
There's a score
All right.
for Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
MVS hitting that big play. Very nice.
Yeah. And long story short, the Falcons played one more home game since then, and we've never been back at home. I mean,
never. Yeah, we only had that one other playoff game since then. So.
Yeah, against Green Bay, and then after that, we haven't played at home. We haven't played at home.
Yeah, we haven't played at home. Oh yeah, Bucs guy just fell over. Yeah. Hey, I'll take it. But yeah, that would have been fun. I was there at the game before that. I was there. I was there for the final Georgia Dome game. I think that was against the Panthers or whatever. I forget.
The Saints.
Was it the
Week 17.
Yeah, it was the Saints. We beat them. Yeah.
I remember. We beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, that's where some of my Falcons cups are from, by the way, guys. If you I've noticed those. My like big Falcons cups were from that game. the final Georgia Dome game. I have like the laminated ticket too that came with it, the final regular season Georgia game. When I actually planned it, I didn't like realize that at the time that it was like that special of a game. I was just like, oh, I'm gonna be in Atlanta at the time, like I should go to this game. But it ended up being like they started to give out all this memorabilia and stuff for it. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, totally. I meant to do that, definitely.
Man, I miss that season.
Yeah, that was a fun season. Hopefully we can get back there, sooner rather than later. I certainly would enjoy that.
We have not, Evan and I have not covered a single winning season
That's
with the Falcoholic.
Right. Yeah, I've covered 2 technically because I came on right before 2016. I came on in like the off season before 2016, and then covered 2016, which was awesome, except for the end. But I wasn't doing this show at the time. I feel like that would have been a lot worse if I had to do the show after that game. I probably just would have I would have done like a Clint Eastwood type of deal where I just like had an empty chair and it just was broadcasting the empty chair. But yeah, and then I covered 2017 too, which was also a winning season. Also ended in disappointment. We're seeing a theme here, but yeah, at least I got to cover 2016. You guys didn't even get that, so. Sorry.
We've covered
Yeah, I joined 2018
That's
November,
right.
I think.
Yeah.
So it was all downhill from there.
Yeah, I was 2018 January.
That's right.
It was right after we lost to the Eagles in the divisional round when Keanu Neal kicked the ball up for I think Alshon Jeffrey to catch.
Yep.
Man,
knee punted it.
what a moment. Yep. That I still contend that would have been a pick six.
Oh yeah.
But he had a convoy. Like that ball falls through it right into his like chest. Yep. And he didn't like know what to do with it. Like just catch
He's like, I've never
run.
been in this position before. Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I think he had caught his first like pick 2 weeks earlier against the Panthers when Cam Newton was just like launching it over the heads of everybody.
Oh my goodness.
But it was I've been here for the very rough times. I've been here for the very ugly times, but still no good times.
Yep. Yeah, I mean,
every season, I don't think we've even been like these past 3 years. We haven't even been like we haven't even sniffed the playoff chase because it was 1-7 in 2018, right? Or no, it was 1-7 in 2019. We got out to the 1-7 start.
That's right.
In 2018, we were 4-4 and then lost to the Browns and then went on that losing streak.
Yep.
And then this past year, we were also very trash. Yeah, 0-5. So I don't think we've had a winning record at like how the playoff picture comes into form in the second half of the season. We have not been a part of that.
Oh yeah. We've not even been like remotely close to that for the past 3 seasons, which has been really annoying. It's really disappointing. All right, we got to kick off here. I do want to get in George's latest donation. George Costanza with the $3, brother. Again, thank you for your support. Says, I think Rodgers is overrated as hell. If people talk about Brady's numbers and wins being inflated due to how pathetic the AFC East was, why do they give the little town north a pass? That division has been pathetic for 20 years. People just hate Brady and love Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I don't like Aaron Rodgers either for the same reason I don't like Brady. They both kind of come off as assholes to me. So like, yeah, I mean, I feel like if you don't like one, you probably shouldn't like the other. They've both been on like historically talented teams and like benefited from weak divisions and both just kind of come across as like really arrogant dicks. So like, I feel like you probably shouldn't like either one if you don't like one. I mean, I guess Falcons fans maybe prefer Rodgers just because he didn't beat them in a Super Bowl, but
I don't agree that Rodgers is overrated just because like legit I think Tom Brady like you can't speak against Brady's accomplishments. He won 6 Super Bowls and I'm not one who like prefers either one either. However, if you asked me, you're getting one quarterback in NFL history, one quarterback for one season, in his prime, and you have to win a Super Bowl in that season. I'm going with Aaron Rodgers. Like, out of any quarterback ever, 1 year in his prime, I'm taking Rodgers because Rodgers at his height, I don't think anyone's able to touch him
Yeah,
like
maybe
ever
like
at his like height.
maybe 2018 Mahomes or whatever, that really
Yeah,
crazy
yeah.
year. But
Oh
yeah,
my
I mean,
goodness, what a
like prime
catch!
Rodgers also
That was a
was
great catch.
ridiculous. Yeah, that was a crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2011 Rodgers when they went 15-1. Rodgers this past year as well has been like
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
My God, they just left Godwin to run.
They're just
But
like,
yeah,
yeah, we're just gonna leave you out here.
yeah,
Yeah, this poor man.
uh, the two highest ever passer rating seasons in NFL history were both Aaron Rodgers's.
Mhm.
Like in
Yeah.
2011 and this past year are the two highest passer rating seasons ever, and both by Aaron Rodgers. Ryan, to compare, Ryan's 2016, which was incredible, was a 117.1. Oh, what a run! Yep, Fournette.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a touchdown for the Bucs, and yeah, that sucks. But yeah, Rodgers is. Yeah, I think this year had like a 122 or something like that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
in 2011 he had like a 123.
Yeah, he's had some very impressive seasons. I guess I know, like Falcons fans, like people have been saying like Rodgers has been better than Ryan, since I think from like 2015 to 2018 or 2019. I think it was 2018. Ryan like consistently was having better seasons than Rodgers, and people were still saying that Ryan's like not a good quarterback. Obviously, Rodgers had a much better season this year and has had tremendous seasons in the past, but that might be why some Falcons fans are salty about that. Because like people are willing to ignore a bunch of Ryan's
the media
seasons.
loves Rodgers.
They do.
The media absolutely
Mm-hmm.
adores Rodgers.
Yeah.
Well, he's got them big, like the Hail Mary stuff, on highlights they love to show and stuff like that. And he was kind of doing that, those Mahomes throws, not to the same extent, but like similar kind of like throws that the NFL loves to show over and over and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Certainly
those two Hail
very fun to
Marys.
watch. Yeah.
Those Hail Marys against the Cardinals in the playoffs a few years ago.
Ridiculous, man.
Like he had like two on the same drive that they started inside their own 10, and he didn't even have his like top three receivers or something.
No, wasn't it like Richard Rodgers that cut it or something? I forget.
Yeah, Richard Rodgers was against the Lions.
Oh, that was against the Lions. That's
on
right.
Thursday
oh my God.
night.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! Keep talking. I really need to go back and research that. But like I don't remember. His name is on the.
I want to say that
Jeff
that game had. Oh, Janis,
it was a Jeff Janis Hail Marys. Like,
Jeff
oh
Janis
my God.
awakening. Yeah.
Jeez, that dude, I thought he was going to be good in fantasy. He just like disappeared.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, Packers receivers other than like Jordy Nelson and Devontae Adams, like Rodgers number one is always like a tremendous fantasy asset, but like every single other fantasy player on the Green Bay Packers, other than I guess Aaron Jones right now, is just like completely unreliable. Like it's just weird.
Yeah, and it's
Randall Cobb was good for like a couple of years. He was like a good flex.
Yeah, Cobb was good too. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a great slot receiver, but man, it was some of those Packers Cardinals games were amazing. Like the Kurt Warner versus Rodgers ones back in the day, and that Janis one. Remember Fitzgerald just had that amazing like play where he just went almost like the entire like field in overtime.
Yeah, yeah.
I still contest that Fitzgerald's 2008 playoff run was the greatest ever by a wide receiver.
That was pretty ridiculous. I do remember that. That was a ridiculous run.
He didn't retire, did he? He's coming back for another year.
I think he is.
I feel like I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, I think he is.
I have no idea. I haven't really given much thought to Fitzgerald the past few years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he's still somehow there.
Yeah. George Costanza says Greg Jennings. Yeah.
Jennings was like at his height with Favre, I think, and then like with Rodgers for his first couple of years.
Yeah.
And then Jennings kind of really fell off. I think it was in 2011. I think was when he like battled some injuries.
Yeah. Derek Brown asks, how do we feel about Zach Wilson? Yeah, I mean, Zach Wilson's...
I really like Zach Wilson.
He's clearly a first-round quarterback. He's clearly a top 5 guy. I think all 4 of them are. I would take all 4 of them at 4 in a heartbeat, which is rare. Zach Wilson is the better option if you want to win in 2021. Like if you need a starter for this year, I think Zach Wilson is maybe even better than Justin Fields for that. But Zach Wilson is like the least athletically talented of the 4 quarterbacks. However, he's certainly adequately athletic. Like he's more athletic than Matt Ryan. Like he's capable of doing some stuff with his legs and getting out on the move and making plays. Like that's not a problem. But he's not going to be a guy that you're going to be drawing up run plays for or drawing up option plays for. Whereas Fields and especially Trey Lance, those are guys that their running ability is legitimately like a big part of their package. So I like Zach Wilson. I think he's absolutely on the table. I suspect that Zach Wilson might actually go at 2 to the Jets. The buzz that I've been hearing is that the Jets are actually higher on Wilson than Fields. We'll see if that plays out. These sorts of things kind of change and go. That kickoff was absolutely nuts, by the way.
That should be a touchback. Just barely, but it should be a touchback.
He also stepped in the end zone, so that probably means it should be a touchback. But yeah, that was nuts. Like that was almost perfect positioning and it didn't bounce in either. That's crazy.
It was good awareness because in case that it was a touchback by like a few inches.
Yeah,
but in case it wasn't and he doesn't like pick it up, that's a live ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Wilson is my number 3 right now. I have him behind Lawrence and Fields, and I mean I would love it if the Falcons got him at 4. If the Jets went with Justin or if Fields wasn't on the board.
Yeah.
I'm not as sold on Lance just yet. I probably could be. I want to be.
You could be convinced, perhaps.
Yeah, I want to be convinced for Justin or for Trey Lance. But yeah, I mean, right now, if one of Fields or Lawrence, I'm not having like any fantasies about Trevor Lawrence. Like,
no one should have fantasies about Trevor Lawrence.
If one of Wilson or Fields is there at 4, then I mean, I prefer Fields if both of them are there. But I'm pretty sure only one will be there, and I want that to be the pick.
Yeah. I mean, I think they'll have. I mean, obviously they're going to have at least one of the 4 available to them at 4, but. Yeah, I mean, I like them all. Lil Rebel says Jets might be favorites for Deshaun. Yeah, I mean, if the Jets trade that number 2 pick for Deshaun, I mean, that changes things because Houston.
But then the Texans they might go quarterback, right?
Yeah, they might need to.
They should.
Yeah, so they should.
Because they have a new GM, right, and head coach.
Yeah. I think no matter what, it's going to be a QB at 2, whether the Jets take one or they trade it to someone who's going to take one. I don't think anyone's trading to 2 to take a non-quarterback. So
is there?
Because I doubt they'd get Darnold and be like, "Oh yeah, this is our guy now."
Right? Yeah, probably.
They'd probably still go quarterback.
Is there a chance that the Jets go non-quarterback at 2? If they just love Sam Darnold so much and they can't find a suitor, that they just go with like a Jamar Chase or
they'd probably take like Penei Sewell, yeah, if anything. But there's always a chance if they're sold on Darnold and they can't find a trade partner, then sure. But if like they didn't like, if they can't find a trade partner, they can't find a trade partner, and like that's why they're in a bad spot, because if they make it clear that they're keeping Darnold, like, then they lose a lot of leverage with the trade, because part of the best way to increase the value of your pick to make it more desirable is like you can threaten you're going to take a quarterback. So if it gets out that you're keeping Sam Darnold and you're not a threat to take a quarterback, you're going to hurt your trade value there. So they have to be really careful with that. But at the same time, if people think you're going to take a quarterback, like, are they really going to be trying to give you RG3 level numbers for the trade anyway if they think you're just going to take a quarterback? So it's weird. But yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be a quarterback taken at 2 no matter what. So that just basically means it's up to the Dolphins at 3 to determine what
That's
happens.
what I wonder about if the Dolphins are kind of in that boat of trying to act like, oh, we're going to take a quarterback to try and get some trade, because they're already trying to bail on Tua, it sounds like. And obviously Fitzpatrick has great as he is not like their future. So they're not going to probably be in a better position. And they're a really good team. They're not in that spot because of their record. It was because of I think it was like Laramie Tunzel or something trade
Right.
that got in the Texans pick. So
Yeah.
don't let the spot make you think they suck. Like they were pretty good last year and competitive. I think they were like one game from the playoffs. So
They were in it until the Bills just smacked them in Week 17.
Yeah.
But Brian Flores has done an amazing job with the Dolphins. Like I remember last year they were tanking for Teddy, and then even then they not Teddy. They were tanking for Tua. Tank for Teddy was a while back.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, but it's they were tanking for Tua, and they still won like too many games, and Tua ends up falling to them because the Chargers go with Justin Herbert.
Yeah,
surprisingly,
probably
according
being the better pick. Yeah,
which was an amazing pick.
Turned out good.
Yeah,
but it's wild. Like you just spent a whole year actively tanking for a quarterback. You got him, and now you want to go with another quarterback?
I don't.
That's kind of what the Cardinals did with Josh Rosen. They started him, I think, more, but I think he was like a 7th pick or something.
Yeah.
I think he was in the top 10.
He was.
And then I think he's on like the Bucs practice squad or something now.
But the Cardinals changed regimes. Like they brought in Kingsbury, they brought in I think a new GM. I don't know if they brought in a new GM or not, but Kingsbury came in and he said like I want Kyler.
Yeah. It would be extremely unusual for them to bail on Tua after a single season without a regime change. It would basically mean that they're like acknowledging that they screwed up the 5th overall pick after one season, which usually that's the sort of thing that gets your GM fired. So,
plus, how would you know that soon?
Yes, you wouldn't, because he was also recovering from his hip injury still. Like, so I just don't. I don't think that. If anything, they're just trying to. I think they're trying to drum up interest in the pick, which is smart, and they should. But I also don't think I would believe them if they said they were going to take a quarterback there. So, they do whatever, take it with a grain of salt, whatever they say about what they're doing there. But they're either going to trade down or they're going to take Penei Sewell. So I think they're hoping to trade down, obviously. And if that happens, the Falcons will be in a situation where they're either going to take Trey Lance or they're going to trade Trey Lance to somebody else. So, it's interesting to look at that and think about which one might be better for the Falcons overall.
I think definitely better if they take a non-quarterback.
Yeah.
Because in that case, then one of Wilson or Fields is going to be there for you at 4.
Yeah.
Which is my preference to what's going to happen. But I think there's also a chance that they could go receiver at 3. If they
the Dolphins, yeah.
Like I think they could go with a Jamar Chase or a Devontae Smith, depending on how. Like because Smith, Tua played with Smith in college as well. He just won the Heisman. Yeah. It's going to be a really interesting I don't think we've had 2 receivers going up against each other in like the draft on the draft boards like this since AJ Green and Julio Jones in 2011.
Yeah, and like Jalen Waddle's right behind him too. Like he's absolutely right there.
Jalen, who knows where Jalen Waddle would be like slotted if he hadn't gotten injured.
Right. Yeah, he'd probably be like in that same conversation. So
yeah, I don't think Smith wins the Heisman if Waddle doesn't get hurt.
Right. Yeah, he kind of had like a Julio Jones in 2015 like season where they just had to just funnel everything through him, and it worked great. But so that'll be interesting for sure to see what happens there. But yeah, I think if the Falcons wanted to trade down, and we're not planning on taking a quarterback at all, then I think the best scenario for them to get maximum value for that trade down is probably if the Dolphins do trade out and give the pick to somebody else and they take a quarterback, because then you're looking at Trey Lance is the last quarterback. So the 49ers, the Patriots, the Lions, assuming they weren't one of the teams that traded up, if they want him, it's then the Falcons could be like, look, you either trade up or we're taking him. We're perfectly happy to take him. If you want him, trade up with us. Convince us not to take him, because we still have Matt Ryan. We're willing to hear your offer, but otherwise, we're going to take him. And then but that could end up increasing the value of the pick because the position is there's one guy left basically that's worth this spot. there's rumors that the Bears are looking to make some sort of major move to get a quarterback. So if that's the last one, I wonder what sort of crazy deal we could see in that
I would
scenario.
want everything, like literally everything,
Yes.
everything they can give us for that point.
That would be one of the biggest trade ups of all time. So just for reference.
Yeah, like I mean, for like the next, not even exaggerating, first for the next like 4 years.
I don't think we're going to get that, but I think we could easily get.
Like
Obviously, the starting point is probably
for,
2 firsts and all your day 2 picks.
for me, for the Bears, because the Bears are picking what, 17,
20th.
18, 20. Oh, 20.
Yeah.
For me, the starting point just to have a conversation would be the RG3 trade.
Yeah, so you're talking about like
what Washington got in the RG3 trade. So I think they got what, 3 firsts?
Yep, 3 firsts.
Like 2 seconds, like a fifth. That for me is a starting point if we're going back to 20.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if they open up with 3 firsts and we'll give you this year's second and third, like, I take that and I don't hesitate. Like, I'm like, hell yeah, let's go, buddy. Like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, because you're talking about like a franchise-altering move for a quarterback, especially if like Fields or like Wilson is someone there, or someone is there, and they fall in love with him, because then you can be like, all right, if you don't do this trade, we're taking him, and like you're not getting him no matter what.
And the Falcons have legitimate, like, they can legitimately say that, and no one will think that they're lying, because they absolutely could. They're in that situation where they could take a quarterback, no questions asked. Like, no one will think that they're BSing when they say we'll take this guy if you don't trade with us. So, it would be interesting to see. But yeah, I mean, that would be a totally absurd trade that I would be very happy with.
Around and find out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, the other thing is like too, like if you're the Falcons and you have future firsts, you're basically in line for multiple firsts in each of the next 2 drafts. Like if there's a quarterback you like, you've already got multiple first round picks to trade up. That puts you in the driver's seat for a future trade up to get a quarterback if that's where you're trying to go. So that's a move that could set you up nicely this year with those extra day 2 picks, and then also set you up nicely for the next 2 seasons. So you can basically ride it out with Ryan, and then if you get in a position where you're ready to go after a quarterback, you have the ammunition to do that, or you have the ammunition to get multiple first round picks in a year. So very exciting stuff.
So in a hypothetical, let's say the Falcons get from the Bears 3 firsts, and Terry Fontenot really like negotiates, like has an amazing negotiation where he gets 3 firsts and 3 seconds from them.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're talking about having multiple first rounders, multiple second rounders for the next 3 years, and that's and like I'm not even exaggerating right now with like some crazy hypothetical. This in my opinion is what it will and what it should take for the Bears to go from 20 to 4 to get a quarterback, because it's not a regular trade up if you're trading into the top 5.
Yeah,
when
there's not really precedent. There's not really precedent for it. Yeah. So
like when a quarterback is like talked about, everything like goes out the window. It's not like the Falcons going from 27 up to 6 to take Julio Jones, because Julio is not a quarterback. The Bears, and again, the Falcons have so much more leverage, because the Falcons can just say, we're taking this quarterback if you don't trade with us. And then good luck with Trubisky, moving forward.
Yeah, we like Pants Trubisky last time we played, so you guys aren't going to convince me that you're fine keeping him. So, like, why are you on the phone with me if you're happy keeping Trubisky?
So let's say right now the Falcons make this like amazing move. This is the type of move that like it can alter a franchise. Like the Rams didn't do anything with that RG3 trade because they suck. But the Falcons, in my opinion, have like better leadership. Like you can build a roster with that.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a domino effect where we'd look back and we'd be like, you know what? The entire reason we got all of those picks, because we ended up not beating the Chiefs, because we ended up losing to the Chargers, because we did our job and we tanked properly for once.
Yep.
So that's why I was advocating all year. That's why I was having the tank watch every single Sunday on our show, because you know what? Like everything broke right for this team, and had we won the last 3 games, where would that get us right now? Like, where would we be right now? We would have like had some good feelings about beating
those
the
positive
Chiefs.
vibes,
Positive vibes, continuity.
Oh my God.
Right now we would be at like the 10th pick or something, and not even quarterback. We'd be looking at like who's.
Yeah, we'd probably be
could
talking a lot.
Surtain be there?
Yeah,
Could
Surtain,
Rousseau
Farley,
be there?
maybe Micah Parsons still there, maybe Kwity Paye or Gregory Rousseau, something like that.
All very good players. Like
yes.
nothing against any of
still
those
better
guys.
than last year. Don't get me wrong, but
but I would much rather have 4, and let's say if we trade from 4 to 9 and we get an extra first round pick next year and then we take Surtain, I'd much rather that than just have like the 10th pick and take Surtain.
And then have a few meaningless wins,
Yeah, and there is some precedent between the meaningless wins like the last couple of years. There is some precedent with that trade. I remember the Bills going from 9 to 4 to take Sammy Watkins, and that cost them an extra first rounder the next year.
Yeah.
And even then, like, we're talking about a quarterback here, so it could even take more, or it should take more.
Yeah, it could. It's gonna be wild if that sort of thing does happen. I mean, I certainly wouldn't rule anything out, because the Bears are desperate. And like, also the thing to note is that GM's probably getting fired if they don't get a quarterback. Like he's probably getting fired next year if they don't, have some sort of major rebound. So in his mind, it might be like, I need to go all out to get a quarterback, and I don't care what happens in 3 years if I'm not going to be here anyway. Which, at that point, it's like, well, maybe you should have just fired him anyway to make sure that this situation didn't happen. But it is the Bears we're talking about, so.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Pace he could be on borrowed time if he doesn't figure this out.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to draft a quarterback to make sure his job is safe for a year or two. Like, if they don't get a quarterback in there and they start Trubisky, like, he's probably done. He's probably done. So,
and I think Lil Rebel makes a really good point. Like, Ryan Pace and Fontenot work together with the Saints.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I mean, there's some great point. That there is some familiarity there. But yeah, I absolutely love the idea of being on the phone with a desperate general manager who's negotiating for his job, essentially. Like, you have a chance. You have so much leverage. You can you can get whatever you want.
Yeah. Well, wasn't Ryan Pace the guy that got played by the 49ers to get conned into moving up one spot for Trubisky?
Yes. He went from 3 to 2 to take Trubisky.
So yeah, Fontenot, you better be on the phone with Pace. This man is, ripe for the taking. So absolutely we should do that. So we got another $3 from George Costanza, brother. Again, thank you so much for your support. He says, I was there, saw the final game played at Fulton County Stadium. I was 9 at the time. We ended up beating the Taints that year in the wild card, which was our first playoff win in like forever. Anyone remember Chris Miller? Talk about throwback to a bygone era. I mean, I personally never watched Chris Miller play, but I do remember Chris Miller. Fans easily forget how shit this team was before Matt Ryan. Yeah. Look, guys, you're in the spoiled era of Falcons football, which is sad to say when we've suffered through so much even now. But like, before Matt Ryan and Michael Vick before that, like, this team was a dumpster fire. Like, it was a laughing stock, except for a few random years. So, don't be so eager to move on from Matt Ryan, is what I'm trying to say.
Personally, that was a few years before I was born. That was the 91 season.
Yeah.
So no, I was not around for the Chris Miller days. I do not remember that era of Falcons football. It's maybe better that I don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, this team, like, and this would be great, like, legitimately to have someone like DW or Dave Choate on right now, who
you just like low key calling them old.
I mean, it's not very low key, but
It's not
yes.
very low key. Yeah, it's pretty.
No, yeah, like legitimate, the guys who have been around and who have been watching, like who watched that era in the 90s and some of the 80s. Like, I was talking with DW and he said like he does remember the 80s and just what a barren wasteland that was for Falcons football.
Yeah.
It was, and the Falcons hadn't like that playoff win in 1991. That was the first playoff win that the Falcons had since 1978.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And the second playoff win ever, like in the team's
Mhm.
history. In 1980 they got the bye week and they were probably the best team in the NFL, but they blew that lead to the Cowboys.
Mhm. Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, they've been blowing leads for
Been
forever.
blowing leads ever since. Yep. Was that the beginning all the way back then? I hope not.
Yeah, the one thing I do remember watching that 91 documentary on the Falcons on NFL Network, and it was I think that defense with like led by Deion Sanders against the Saints, they had that like little lateral
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
when they were up by like 7 or something like that, and it was like a really dumbass play. Like, what the hell are you lateraling for? But
My
after they
goodness.
got like a pick or something, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
that seemed like a very fun team, and
Mhm.
I understand why fans fell in love with it, because when a team is so bad for so long and then they like win pretty much out of nowhere, because they were last place in the division for 4 straight years before that,
Yeah.
and for like 7 out of the previous 8 years. Like, I understand the nostalgia that people feel when a team like that 91 Braves team is still talked about as fondly as the 95 Braves team, which like won the World Series. In 91 they like had their hearts broken in the World Series, but that was that worst to first team, and
Yeah. Yeah.
the city of Atlanta even threw them a parade
That's
after they
right.
like came back home. So 91 was a good year for Atlanta sports.
Yeah, if we win the Super Bowl, I'm flying to Atlanta for the parade. You guys can bank on that, all right? I will be there. I will be there, Falcons. So you better get your act together. I will come and stimulate that Atlanta economy if you get that Super Bowl trophy. So it's gonna be lit
Oh,
if that happens. So
you and many others.
yes, I'm sure I won't be the only one. That'll be a packed airport. So all right, well
Yeah,
yeah, go.
I mean, I do remember writing about like that. Some of those great players from the '80s, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
Bartkowski and
Mm-hmm.
William Andrews. Those, like, I think Alfred Jenkins, the wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
That team had some offensive firepower.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and I think the Grits Blitz team
Oh yeah.
from I think 1977. I think that was the team. Please correct me if I'm wrong, if it was 1977 or not, but that was the team that had the fewest points per game allowed in
Yeah,
NFL
in the
history,
NFL era. Yeah, yeah. And like the
and
Super Bowl era.
they were still like a 500 team because the offense was so
Yeah,
bad.
the
Like, how
offense
do
was
you give up
shit.
only like
Yeah.
9 points a game,
Yeah.
and you're not like a juggernaut?
Yeah, the
Uh,
offense
that-
was terrible.
yeah, it's like unbelievable. You had all those like steel curtain teams like in
Mhm.
Pittsburgh, and some of the great defensive teams, like even in the modern era,
Yeah,
Legion
yeah.
of Boom,
Mhm.
some of those amazing Patriots teams, the Ravens teams. But yeah, the title does belong to the Falcons, but nobody really knows because the offense didn't pull their weight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. George Stanton mentioned the '80s Falcons had to play the Joe Montana and the Niners, twice a year in the '80s, so that was obviously not
Yeah.
great. That does not
Yeah.
help matters.
And by the way, I'm fully optimistic with the Hawks at this point. We're
We're
upsetting the
back
Bucs
on the
tonight.
train. Yeah, yeah.
Yep, back on the train. Yeah, since last week, we've won 3 games in a row. Back completely. Players are getting healthier. Back on the hype train fully.
You did say it was a health thing, so
I'm telling you, it was absolutely a health thing. Like,
yeah,
half the team was injured.
yeah, yeah.
Think like Chargers,
Right,
like
right.
injuries like that,
Yeah, that's
or
obviously
like
not
the
ideal.
49ers this year.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we got the Bucs with the ball back here. 2 minutes to go. Aaron Rodgers They're gonna get the ball back after halftime too. So, hashtag momentum.
Yes.
Jonathan Wiggins asks, Audna, are you a Trey Young hater just like you hate Matt Ryan?
No, I love Trey Young. I
Oh,
also actually love Matt Ryan.
yes, he
You know,
secretly loves Matt Ryan.
it's just no. I openly love Matt
Oh,
Ryan.
okay,
It's just
okay.
a bit, guys.
It's just a
But
bit.
yeah,
It is a bit.
yeah.
But yeah.
It's,
In case
I love
anyone
all.
didn't know, yeah,
I
we're
love
not
all
like,
the.
yeah.
I
Go
love
ahead.
all the Atlanta Stars.
Yeah.
You know, it's Okay, I was just thinking about I was going through my head of the list of historic stars in Atlanta. There's not too many, but
Right.
yeah,
I love
uh,
them. Yeah.
yeah, I love them.
I love them all. Yeah. They're all my
uh,
special snowflake, children.
yeah, and by the way, I would like to give a shout out to the late great Hank Aaron,
Yes.
who
Mhm.
passed away a couple nights ago in his sleep. That right there is the greatest athlete in Atlanta history,
Yeah.
Atlanta sports history.
Incredible.
And
Mhm.
I don't think that there's anyone, and I tweeted it out, I don't think there's a single other player who's represented Atlanta who's even a close second.
Yeah.
Like not even in the same stratosphere. Like Hank
Yeah.
Aaron, I in my personal opinion is one of the 5 greatest baseball players of all time.
Yeah. I mean, it's really hard to compete with that. It's just really hard to compete with that. I
Yeah,
mean,
like the resume, man made 21 straight All-Star games.
yep.
Like 20 or the All-Star game 21 straight years. I think he played 23 years and made the All-Star game 25
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Because the MLB had some dumb thing where they had the All-Star game twice a couple of years.
Mhm.
But yeah, all-time home run leader, who Barry Bonds is technically ahead of him, but he used the steroids,
Hit the
so
roids. Yep.
hit the roids. So I'm calling Hank the true all-time home run leader. And if you
Yes.
take away all of his home runs, he still has over 3,000 hits.
Yeah. Which
And
is
what a good
ridiculous.
man! Like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
could not hear anyone say a single negative word about Hank Aaron.
No. No. So we were truly lucky to have him. Will be missed in the Atlanta sports scene.
Yeah, it's no legitimate. I was thinking about it and who would be a second place behind Hank. I mean, you have Chipper Jones, who's also a great Brave. And I think the greatest Falcon of all time is Matt Ryan. I don't think he comes close really
Yeah.
to those guys.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean
But yeah.
Dominique Wilkins was the greatest Hawk, but also doesn't come close to Hank Aaron.
Yeah. Yeah, George Costanza just mentioned that actually in a recent tip. I don't know if you saw that on the stream, but yeah, George Costanza said he's a diehard Braves and Falcons fans, but he had to quit on the Hawks in '94 because how do you trade Neek, Mr. Hawk, for Danny Manning? We were in first place.
To this day, that is the only trade in NBA history where the team who was first place in its respective conference traded its scoring leader mid-season.
Yeah.
And I mean, since then it was come on, bro. Danny Manning dipped after a year. That was one of the worst trades in NBA history.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, he's obviously George is off the Hawks train. Still mad about that. I don't know the details, but yeah.
Rejoin us, George. It's going to be a good era in Hawks basketball.
Yeah, it seems fun. I might start watching NBA because the Hawks seem like they're fun.
Yeah.
So
yep, they do. They are very fun.
Yeah, they seem pretty fun. So maybe now is the right time to jump on the bandwagon because I don't want to do it too late. Then you just get accused of being a bandwagoner. So, but thank you again, George, for your donation. We appreciate you, brother. All right, so here we go. Packers in a third down here, 3rd and 6. So
a nice 2-minute drill right now.
Yeah, let's see it. Oh yeah, wide open.
Oh my God, Rogers! How much time are you wasting? You have 2 timeout and a sack. God, that was some of the worst clock management I've ever seen.
I don't know why they didn't call a timeout. Just man.
Yeah, I think they wasted 15 seconds trying to audible or adjust the protections.
Yeah. Man, yeah, you just I don't know why Maybe they were It seems like they were intentionally trying to run the clock. Like that's the only thing I can.
No,
Like,
they're not even at midfield yet.
Yeah, like he just knows he's about to launch some, Hail Mary bomb into the end zone. This isn't Drew Brees we're talking about here. Okay, he's going to be able to launch something into the end zone.
Man, that's
He just ran
disappointing.
through 77.
I mean, remember David
Who was their
Bakhtiari?
left tackle? Yeah.
Bakhtiari's injured, right? So
Yeah, he's out for the season.
Yeah, but who's that left tackle they have now? Because he does not look great.
it's whoever the backup
Oh,
is.
shit.
Hey, I mean, it turned out to be a good move by the Packers. Rodgers throws a pick. Now the Bucs have less time to go back downfield.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's very tactical. Very tactical. Very tactical decision there by the Packers. Nice arm punt by Rodgers.
He was on him too.
Yeah, it's Billy Turner who's their left tackle, who's
okay.
number 77.
Mm.
But that was a great play. Oh, he just snagged it right in front of him.
Yeah, Sean Murphy bunting, man. He actually liked it.
He shut down Michael Thomas last week.
He did, which
He was from the supplemental draft, wasn't he?
Was he? I can't remember. Maybe it was.
I think so. I want to say he is. I thought there was like two guys that came out like corners.
I feel like I know the Giants took one, but I can't remember.
No, he was just a regular second rounder in 2019.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Yeah. The only player I remember, the big name from the supplemental draft, was Josh Gordon a few years ago.
That's right. Yeah. There was some,
but I thought there was like a corner.
There was a couple corners in a recent supplemental draft that got taken, and then there was Isaiah Battle was another guy, that tackle that somebody said the Falcons were in on, and they were wrong. But there's a lot of people that have bad draft takes. All right, I'm not going to spend my time calling out everyone. Speaking of, shout out to Aaron Freeman for that. Like Kelsey's a backup, tight end take. So shout out to Aaron Freeman, getting called out by freezing cold takes. I'm sure one day we'll each, be victimized by freezing cold takes. So gotta enjoy it when it happens to somebody else.
Sam Beal, he was a third round.
Yeah.
He was by the Giants. I don't think he did anything.
No, he didn't do anything. Supplemental draft is a super crapshoot.
Can you tell me why Michael Thomas is talking shit on Twitter right now?
Because Michael Thomas stays mad.
Like, bro, these guys shut you down for 0 catches last week. Man,
Julio Jones would never. Julio Jones.
Oh my God, Julio Jones would never have 0 catches in a playoff game. Julio's never had less than 60 yards in a playoff game. That was in that 2-point Giants fiasco, and he was like a rookie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I mean Julio would never.
I think it was this time last year when Thomas threatened to punch a reporter.
Jesus. All right, so we got. Oh wait, man, how did you not catch that, brother? Redvin just dropped, straight up didn't catch that pick. He just, should have had that. At any rate, the Bucs are gonna punt. It's gonna be are we gonna see this Aaron Rodgers Hail Mary that I was talking about? Is this actually gonna happen?
That'd be a long one.
Might as well launch
I think Brady's coming back out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, I guess they might as well just run something. Because they could probably run out the clock. Well, no, they can't. Weird. Whatever. I do see there's a couple questions in the chat. We're going to get to those once we go to halftime/commercial here.
They're at midfield too? Or close to it?
Yeah, they're at the 45. Risky. Yeah, it's kind of risky. I mean, Aaron Rodgers can hit that Hail Mary, so he's done it for.
I mean, all he would need is if they got some time and got a sideline catch with a few seconds left, they could get a field goal.
Man, I can't believe he dropped that pick.
Timeout by.
It's been a very interesting tactical back and forth here with Green Bay wasting a lot of time, but then maybe they meant to waste a lot of time.
Yeah, it's nice.
You can see the snow there.
Yeah. Yeah, we got 8 inches of snow yesterday, so She had to
God,
break
I'm
up.
glad I don't live up north. I haven't seen snow in like a year. I'm fine with it.
I
It's like
like it.
70 something right now.
Yeah, I like it, but
Yeah, I mean,
we
I've
have
been
a
down
nice
in
snow
Florida.
blower,
It's like,
so yeah.
yeah, well,
I just-
for Evan, it's just like unbelievable. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's like
it's in the 50s here, but it's like no snow.
yeah.
Luckily.
Yeah, no, I just crank that thing on, and it just chews through. It can go up. It can do up to 18 inches at a time, and just chews a path through it. So now, if
Oh.
you have that, it trivializes the snow. So
Got the first down.
oh man,
Yeah.
okay, they got a whole
I
like
guess
5
now
seconds
they're
to play
gonna-
with. Yeah, I guess they'll try
Right
it.
now, they're
kick.
That'd be a
Hail
long
Mary.
field goal.
Oh man,
Yeah, that'd be a long field goal.
Yeah, it'd be super long.
Like 58 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, maybe, yeah.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie.
What a throw, though. Jeez.
I'd be beside myself if Julio got held to 0 catches and if he was shit talking like the next week.
Julio doesn't even tweet. Like, I don't even remember the last time Julio tweeted. Like, does he even tweet? I feel like he
No, he
tweets out
doesn't.
like ads, and it's not even him. You know, it's probably like his agent or something, or his social
The
media
only
manager.
like interaction I see of his is like he started going on Kurt Benkert's like streaming of Warzone,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
plays with him randomly.
cool.
And that's like it.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
mean Julio doesn't have time for mortal matters like shit talking. Okay, like he's like on some other plane of existence. He does not care.
Oh,
Oh my god!
God,
Oh shit!
Well then,
Oh my
He torched that guy too. Ballsy.
That was a swing.
Jeez.
yeah, that's one way to make a statement going into halftime. I'll tell you what.
Dude, that's
Oh.
nuts.
Oh, those Packers
That crowd
fans are
is
just
dead.
in awe right now.
Yeah,
Oof.
well, you know they're playing.
Did he
probably-
just run right by him?
Those Packers corners are
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
disaster.
Yeah, it
Who's
was,
number 20?
Kevin
Oh
King,
my
man.
God.
Yeah.
Is it? He
Kevin
torched him. He
King,
just,
yeah.
I don't know what he was doing.
yeah, it looked like
Maybe
one of
thought he
those
had safe
extended like
field.
wheel routes where
Yeah.
you like started going diagonally
Yeah,
and
that
then
was a
just
great
cut
throw,
up
too.
field.
Pretty fantastic. Wow. Yeah, that was a
And
fantastic.
what's
throw.
crazy is like I would suspect that, and they'll probably get back into it, make it close. But like against any other team, it's like the Packers. You would feel like if this was like the Packers in the, I don't know, just about any other NFC team, you'd probably be like, oh, this ain't over.
The
But
Packers and the
like,
Falcons.
no, it's against, yeah, like you'd be like, okay, well, Packers are definitely not out of it. But like now you're going up against Brady, and he's not going to choke. And I
Yeah,
feel
but
confident
he's-
saying that. Like
Yeah,
if he does,
but
I
he's
don't
not
care.
Much of a
But-
choker. The
Bro,
closest
that
he got was
pass-
probably that Falcons game. So.
That pass was right in the breadbasket.
Oh yeah, that was a perfect
Yeah.
pass. That was fantastic.
Like Brady could not have walked that ball over to him and like planted it into his chest more accurately.
Yeah. Man, if the Packers blow this, this is really going to cement their legacy as playoff chokers. So like, one Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers, man, that's rough.
And that wasn't even like a Hail Mary. That was like a design
No,
play.
that was like a normal pay. That was just like a
Very
normal
gutsy.
play. Yeah.
One-on-one coverage downfield.
Mhm.
You can tell
And-
Kevin King just like didn't respect him. Like he wasn't even running full speed until like he realized he was behind
Yeah,
him.
I
And he
don't
was
know
like, oh
what-
Yeah,
crap.
I don't know why. Scotty
I'm trying
Miller's
to
a
give
fast
him, like-
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he thought there was like a safety back there, but he just went right by him.
Yep.
What a way to start or to head into halftime.
And
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
exciting, man.
you're expecting when the Packers got the ball, it's like, okay, they'll go downfield, kick a field goal. It'll be a
Mhm.
1-point game.
Mhm.
It's 11 now.
Yeah. And who'd you say Kevin gets it?
I think
Packers?
the Packers do get it, so there is that. You know, they'll have
Okay.
a chance to
Hmm.
put some points up after halftime. But I mean, that pick was obviously devastating based on this.
They're showing it again. Yeah, he just went right by him.
Oh my God, Mike Conti, who's on sports radio on 92.9 here, a
92.9.
local station in Atlanta, like a few minutes ago, tweets out, "Oh, this feels too aggressive for Tampa Bay. I'd be happy taking a 4-point lead on the road into the half."
Hmm.
And then everyone is just like responding to him. That's the Atlanta in you. That's the Atlanta mindset.
Yep, that's the
Mhm.
Atlanta
Yeah,
mindset,
he's right.
buddy.
Yeah, nothing like that conservative mindset to like lose a playoff game. We've seen that plenty of times before.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like Kyle Shanahan's mindset would have been doing something like this, and then he did it in the Super. Like, say what you want. Like, should they have run the ball? Yeah, probably. Like, yeah, definitely they should have. But like, this is exactly what Kyle Shanahan would have done. Like, he would have gone out, balls to the wall, trying to win and put up as many points as he possibly can.
He did, and I mean,
yeah. So
it's kind of a hot take. I don't blame Kyle Shanahan for that loss.
no, I mean,
Like
I blame
because
the defense.
I think the offense did its job in that game. It put up 28 points.
I blame the
in
football
Super
gods
Bowl.
more than anyone. I mean,
I blame Devontae Freeman more than anyone.
well, yeah,
like,
he missed that block. Yeah.
bro,
That would have been a
couldn't,
touchdown.
like,
yeah.
you couldn't just like chip him like slightly.
Yeah.
It felt like the man, like the Madden controller or the PS4 controller just like turned off, and he just like stood there while
Yeah.
Hightower passed by him.
Yeah. So we're
Yeah,
not
because,
going to talk about this very long. So don't worry.
I'm just gonna say Aldrick Robinson was wide open,
He was.
streaking
He
downfield.
was wide ass.
And the reason that ball was fumbled is because Matt Ryan had like cocked it back to throw it, and just half second more, and that's a touchdown. And we're up 35 to like 10.
Yep.
And we're talking about like one of the most lopsided blowouts possibly in Super Bowl history. But
But we can't have nice things. So that.
Yeah, and especially after Freeman and his agent were like making a big deal about his new contract leading up, like, bro.
Yeah. Well, the Falcons were fools to give him that money also. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he absolutely just like
bro.
Yeah, he was damaged goods like 2 years
later.
later.
Also, you're really going to clamor for more money before the Super Bowl. How about you win the damn game before you start asking for money? But anyone who knew anything about Kyle Shanahan knew that he turns running backs into playmakers, not the other way around. So I wouldn't go out and just sign any running back who has 1,000 yards under Kyle Shanahan, because it could be literally anyone.
Yeah. I mean, Jeff Wilson. Like, if Jeff Wilson was their starter throughout the entire year, he would have been the Pro Bowl.
Yeah. All right. Yes. So I know we have some questions in the chat. I see George Costanza's most recent donation. We'll hit that first. So George says, I think Brady made Belichick just like Montana made Walsh. I know a lot of you guys have a crush on Bieniemy, but I think he's more Josh McDaniels than Sean McVay. He's been propped up by an elite all-time talent. I assume you're talking about Mahomes. Brady, throughout his career, has been the ultimate underdog ever since University of Michigan. What a story. I mean, yeah, certainly he came into the league as like a huge underdog. And I guess we'll see here, right? Like, can Belichick actually be successful without Tom Brady? We're going to find out. I think, yeah.
Yeah, I'm disagreeing with George again. I don't think Brady completely made Belichick.
No, I mean, Brady wasn't responsible for those defenses, right?
Some of those Super Bowls, the Patriots had like a top 5 defense.
Yeah.
I don't think Brady sniffs close to 6 Super Bowls if Belichick isn't his coach.
Yeah. I mean, Brady, I think it's just like the way I think Derrick Henry and Arthur Smith both benefited from each other a lot, to the point where they were kind of a perfect match. I think Brady and Belichick were kind of the same way. I think they both kind of really had a great relationship with each other. But we'll see it. Can Belichick have a successful offense without basically lucking into an elite quarterback in the 5th round? Because the one weakness I would say that Belichick has had is that he's not a very good drafter. He doesn't really find great talent in the draft. He's been a lot better at finding talent in free agency and stuff like that. But the Patriots have not drafted well on the whole. They found a few stars, but other than that, man, I mean, he's not been a great drafter. The Patriots. I mean, that's part of the reason the Patriots are in the hole they are in now, right? So, but that roster in New England was a disaster this year. I mean, it's fairly impressive that they even were 7-9, in my opinion. I mean, I don't think that roster was anywhere near as talented as Atlanta's, and they were still better. So.
That roster was, I think, a lot of their really important defensive pieces topped out of the season due to COVID. Hightower did. I think Patrick Chung did as well. They had some playmakers who who opted not to play this year, and their quarterback. Yeah, that's one of those warning stories with how important it is to have your quarterback of the future in place for after your quarterback is finished with your franchise.
Yeah.
Talk about the Saints, and it's going to be the same thing. They have to start either Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston next year, if they can even afford Jameis Winston next year.
Right.
But the Patriots, you look at it, like they had to bring in a washed-up Cam Newton to be their quarterback this year, and Newton all year he was the best quarterback on that roster because it was either him or Jared Stidham.
Well, yeah, part of the problem was thinking they had something in Jarrett Stidham, which they clearly didn't.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I mean, in complete fairness to Belichick and the Patriots, Belichick did try to groom Jimmy Garoppolo as the quarterback of the future, but Tom Brady wasn't having it, according to some of those reports and some of those stories that came out of Boston. He basically pretty much went above Belichick to Robert Kraft to basically like get Jimmy out of there.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. That was wild. But yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, you have to draft better than Belichick has been, and you got to get a quarterback. I mean, I think a lot of people thought Cam Newton was going to have a great season there, and it just clearly the injuries have piled up for him and have really taken their toll. But that team is just not the same without Tom Brady. But they didn't really have any weapons either. I mean, what was it like? One wide receiver, nothing at tight end. James White at running back. James White and Rex Burkhead probably wouldn't be starters on any other team at running back. The ghost of Sony Michel, who's just, it's really sad to see how injuries have kind of robbed him of his. Honestly, like Sony Michel, like Nick Chubb is really the only one that's managed to kind of live up to his billing. Like, I mean, Todd Gurley did certainly for several years, but he's injured and slowed. Sony Michel seems injured and slowed. Nick Chubb, great. So good for Nick Chubb that he's still managing to.
Yeah, Nick Chubb was taken after Michel was in that draft.
Yeah,
it was a second rounder, and also, Gurley was also a top 10 pick, but Gurley, he was an MVP caliber player.
He was
for the Rams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was great while he was healthy.
Yeah, I'm taking Gurley at his peak over Chubb at his peak, and we don't know like what Chubb's peak is, just yet. In fairness, but peak Todd Gurley was the best running back in the NFL. Don't let Todd Gurley this past year with with Dirk Cutter fool you. Like this past year isn't who Todd Gurley has been throughout his career.
Yeah,
but it's Georgia running backs like Noshawn Marino also, other than that one really good year with Peyton Manning and that amazing Broncos offense, he wasn't really all that either.
Right. That's true. Yeah. It's wild, man.
But, we'll see where it goes. Dalvin Cook's younger brother, he ended up going back to school, but he'll come out in a year. I think Zamir White is coming out this year.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they can have some more success. But yeah, Nick Chubb, like that's a guy you should be looking at easy first round pick in fantasy next year.
Yeah, Nick Chubb for sure. He's like easily a top 10 pick. My top 10, my number one overall pick, Christian McCaffrey, didn't really help me this year, but I still won the championship. So, shout out to Travis Kelce for that. My take Travis Kelce at all cost strategy has been working out pretty well. So I remember going into the season, it was like a debate about should we take Travis Kelce or George Kittle as the first tight end? And I was like, definitely Travis Kelce. Look at the quarterback. Who would you rather have throwing the ball to you, Jimmy Garoppolo or Patrick Mahomes? Easy answer, Patrick Mahomes. So yeah, wait till George gets in the fantasy league, right? Yeah, then it's gonna get spicy in there. So yeah, Marino did have an injury issue as well, Paul. I don't know if it was the same as Gurley in terms of cartilage or arthritis or something like that, but there was something like that.
I still contend that Todd Gurley should not have gone back to school, or after that fiasco with signing autographs where he was suspended for 5 games. I think just out of principle alone, he should have just gone completely like he should have left the University of Georgia and just prepared for the draft at that point
Yeah.
because the team really hung him out to dry
Yeah.
because it was the same situation with Johnny Manziel about a year earlier, where he got busted for signing autographs and selling like memorabilia, which it's another story entirely. But that's absolutely ridiculous that the NCAA like imposes sanctions for that.
Right.
And I'm very happy that the states individually are mandating that players can start getting money. Like I think
Yeah.
California
Yeah.
started it.
California. I think Florida's actually moving on that as well.
Yeah, if like enough of these big states do that, the NCAA could like see its demise, and I would
I'm here for
absolutely
it.
love
Yeah.
to see
I'm
the
here for it.
NCAA's demise.
Yeah. Conferences. I
But
mean, the conferences are the ones that have all the power, technically. So.
Lil Rebel said he got one of Gurley's jerseys from that scandal.
Legendary.
But yeah, it's because I remember Manziel, like Texas A&M stood firmly behind him, and
Yeah.
they said they were going to like fight with him through this, and he got suspended for half a game against Rice
Right.
in the
Against
season in the
Rice.
first
Yeah.
season. But meanwhile, Georgia with Mark Richt and Greg McGarity were like, "Oh no, we're gonna self-report this to the NCAA. We're gonna do this by the book. We're gonna, all that complete BS." Gurley gets
Mhm.
suspended for 5 years, and it was during a year when Georgia really like, had something cooking for a
Yeah.
possible like title run. That was Chubb's freshman year. They beat Clemson in week 1 that year. They
Mhm.
destroyed Clemson in week 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was then Gurley gets suspended 4 or 5 games. If I were him, and I remember saying it at the time, just purely out of principle, I'm not coming back like
Yeah.
to that school after they completely betrayed me
Oh
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah. No. Absolutely not.
And then he like comes back and then he like tears his ACL, and it was just a really sad situation
It
overall.
was.
But
It was super sad. Yeah. But yeah. Well, at least Gurley ended up getting that huge payday. He at least got to
yeah,
cash in, and he had some really tremendous NFL seasons. I mean,
that 2017 season
yeah,
was
that was special.
absolutely like
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Yeah, I know we had a question about Mac Jones. If we think Mac Jones is a first or a second rounder, or when we think he's going to get drafted. So I think Mac Jones is probably a solid NFL starter. I think that's his ceiling. He's a guy that if you have a really good team around him, he can probably win. He reminds me of like a Ryan Fitzpatrick level guy. Like I think if you have a very good team around him, he's smart and he's a good leader, but he's not really special. Like in terms of his athleticism, really nothing to write home about. His arm is fine. Like it's above average arm, but I mean, it's not anything truly special. But I think he's a high-end backup. I think he's a guy who can step in and be a starter for you. But I think he's a guy you're probably going to want to upgrade on basically always. And that's, that sucks. But yeah, and George, like there's not going to be a combine, FYI. Like there's going to be pro days, but teams are going to be pretty skeptical of what they're hearing from these pro days. They always are. They'll probably have some guys there to time people themselves. But yeah, I mean, I just don't think Mac Jones is like all that special. Like obviously he had a great season. And I think he had a terrific year and he really helped these wide receivers maximize their season. But he's not really a guy that I would consider a first round talent. Now he might still get drafted in the first round because if these 4 top quarterbacks all go in like the top 5, there's going to be teams that are like, look, we either get Mac Jones or we don't get a quarterback. Like we can't wait for our second pick. So we'll see. I think he could easily be a first rounder. I don't really think he's a guy I'd want to take in the first round, but I think back half of the first round, it's a possibility. Second round probably is where you'll see him go. I think we can see Trask fall though. I don't really think Trask is that attractive of a prospect. He's a backup. He can do some things. He's big and strong, but his arm is not good and he's not athletic. There's not really a whole lot there to build on. So I'm not a big fan of Trask either. So I think if you miss on these top 4 guys, you're probably going after more of the projects like a Jamie Newman.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. There is a fumble recovered by Devin White.
Well, yeah, the Green Bay, the playoff chokers, they're back.
Oh,
This actually is
they
reminding me a lot of that Falcons game. It was kind of close at the beginning, and then Atlanta just kind of pulled away and just dominated in the second half.
Yeah, they are in the red zone.
Wow.
Yeah, actually, like, I don't know. I don't think it was even that close.
It wasn't.
Like,
I
it
think
was
like the first
24-0
quarter
at the half.
That's right. That's right. It was like I think like the first quarter it was like a little slow. The Falcons got up to a little bit of a lead, and then it was like at some point they just like opened the floodgates and just like buried them.
Yeah, it was. I remember it well. We like our offense moved downfield, scored a touchdown. It was like the Sanu one-hander.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
And then like after that, Mason Crosby missed a field goal. Like
Yeah.
Green Bay responded. They went downfield. Crosby misses a field goal. Then it was Ripkowski, their fullback or something, fumbled the ball.
Yeah, that's right.
After the Packers went downfield the second time, it was recovered by Jalen Collins of all people. And remember Collins?
Jalen Collins.
Yeah, he had that really smart play where he, before he recovered it, he fell into the end zone.
That's right.
Or he recovered it, fell into the end zone for the touchback instead of at the one.
Yeah, shout out to Jalen Collins for that one good game.
Yeah, I mean Collins had a good second half.
He did have a good. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, after Trufant was injured, and it's a shame. I think if we would have held on against the Patriots, we would have looked back on that Collins pick and said, didn't really work out other than that 1 year, but he helped us win the Super Bowl, so it was worth it. Rashid Hickman as well. He had a sack in that game.
Exactly. Well, I maintain that Collins wasn't a bad pick for his talent. His talent was clearly there. The difference was that Collins was a knucklehead and didn't really care. So when the team stopped winning, Collins stopped caring, and that's why he fell off a cliff. So, and also he just was peds and everything else
it was a very very sad ending when the last we saw of him was getting burned in week 4 of the preseason.
Yeah, he was getting torched by backups in the preseason. Damn,
against the Dolphins.
Yep. Wow. Yeah, George Costanza. Oh yeah, the $1. Thanks again, George. We appreciate you, buddy. He said he forgot to ask what Adnan is drinking. So Adnan, what do you got today?
Some Yahoo chocolate.
Oh man, Yahoo chocolate. Very nice. Yeah. Very, very nice.
Trying to diversify as much as possible.
Yep. Got
went for a workout earlier today, so I nothing gets the recovery going like some chocolate milk.
Yeah, that Yoo-hoo, man. Like that really hammers that workout home.
But yeah, speaking of getting hammered, man, I cannot believe the Packers are just like.
Yeah,
I can't believe the Packers offense is getting shut down. I mean, in fairness, they got shut down in the regular season.
They did.
But I mean, if it happens once, sure, I did not expect it to happen again.
No, I mean, maybe Bulls just has their number. I mean, Dan Quinn always had their number too. I never really understood that, but for whatever reason, the Falcons would just always play well against Green Bay, even with Dan Quinn's defense. So, but that was back when they had Mike McCarthy. So
there's a quick touchdown to Cameron Brate.
Well, there you go.
28-10.
This really feels a lot like 2016. Not quite as dominant, but it does feel a lot like it. Until we get a play like that Julio touchdown, which is maybe the most legendary play I've ever seen, where he just pushed off. He just pushed that dude down, and then he just trucked the other dude like that.
But Darius Gunter.
Yeah? Oh yeah, Darius Gunter. Oh, poor guy. You can see his arms reaching out for Julio, and Julio's just no.
Oh, he was holding Julio that entire time. And Julio just kept shaking him off.
Julio just pushed him off. Yeah, it was get off of me. What is this? Just the disrespect by Julio Jones. He just, you're not even a person to him. You're just like a gnat in the way. He just brushes you off like a gnat.
It was one of those. It was one of those plays where it was a big play and it's a touchdown, but then you always pause when you see the flag down there because you never know Could
Mm-hmm.
this be a holding? Could this be an illegal formation? Could this be something that just like ruins it? And then I remember after it was like called touchdown, like the entire like
Oh yeah,
stadium just
yeah,
like erupted.
yep, yeah. That was crazy. That was my favorite play of that entire season. I think maybe my favorite Falcons play ever. I don't know. Just at the end too, when he just like flips the ball out. He's just like he was like 10 yards away from the end zone when he started that celebration. He was just like, "Here you go." This
Yeah,
is
had we just like held on and a couple weeks later,
what? I don't even remember. That didn't happen. As far as I'm concerned, that was my Super Bowl set.
yeah, oh my God, like well, we'd be talking about our favorite play being either that ridiculous Julio catch or that
Mhm.
Alfred pick six.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but man, it was had Alfred just gotten that second interception where it ended up being that Edelman catch where
Yeah, that was
it hit
stupid.
Alfred in the hand.
That's how we
Like
knew
all
the Falcons were cursed after
yeah,
that.
like Alfred would have probably won Super Bowl MVP,
Yeah.
and he would
Maybe.
have like
Maybe.
two picks, a pick set. I think he would have like
He would have been
he,
in the voting for sure. Like
they would have maybe erected a statue of him.
I mean, I would have. I would erect a statue to every single player on that team. We could have a little statue garden. Like you could just walk through it and see all 53 people on the roster. And then there'll be like a mini garden for the practice squad players. But yeah. Stephen B, why did Collins fall off the earth? That lettuce? Yeah, man, he was hitting that devil's lettuce. I think that was why. But also the NFL is stupid for being that upset about the devil's lettuce, but that's another topic. You got to follow the rules if you're there. If the rules say you can't hit the devil's lettuce, then you can't. So, this is the NFL we're talking about, all right? I need you to put down the bong for like at least a few years while you're in the NFL. You can always hit it later, okay? So
Man, I didn't know Kevin King got burned on that Evans touchdown
oh yeah,
too.
yeah, that was him. Yeah. They were like rushing him back from injury, so maybe they should have kept him off the field.
Yeah, I mean that's what the Bucs did with Winfield.
Yep. Clearly they didn't need him, so they're doing just fine. Looks like someone is actually hurt for the Bucs. That one of the defenders. I can't actually read his number, but it's like his shoulder maybe.
Yeah, Adams is really. They're showing all the double coverage he's getting in this game.
Oh yeah, he's gonna get bracketed every single play, but Green Bay should know that.
I mean, not everyone can like overcome that like Julio does year in and year out.
Julio's just pushing multiple guys down on the same play, so not everyone can handle that. Man, they were bracketing Adams on that play with Devin White. That's funny.
I mean, just as we speak about him, there he is.
There he is. Yeah. Ask and ye shall receive.
Oh my God. Conti just doubled down on saying, "Oh yeah, that was a bad move by the Bucs to like go for it on fourth down."
What?
Yeah, he's like, "I stand by what I said." Green Bay stops them and gets into halftime at 14-13. Arians looks like a dope. That's such a like weak mentality to have.
But like that also assumes that the Packers would have been able to get 20 more yards or 30 more yards even to get into field goal range and kick the field goal to get to 14-13, which there was like 10 seconds left. Yeah, like that's not a guarantee. So, I mean, I think it was a fine decision. I mean, it was aggressive. I don't think it was egregiously so. Like,
No, it was a good decision. Like, yeah, it was 4th and 3. It's not like it was like 4th and like 12 or anything like that.
It wasn't like Andy Reid letting freaking Chad Henne throw on 4th and 1 levels of aggressive. That was like maximum balls. Yeah.
But that was Andy Reid knowing whatever play I've drawn up is like much better than anything the defense has, and it was. It was like little Tyreek Hill like cut in where he like cuts in for a step and then just like releases to the outside.
Yeah. I mean, it was I would never recommend like doing that, but Andy Reid can do whatever he wants. Like, I mean, he can do whatever he wants. But like, if that didn't work and they didn't get the first down and they didn't just QB sneak it, like we'd be having a totally different conversation. But yeah, Because I feel like it was like inches, so I feel like you probably should just QB sneak it there, but maybe they never practiced the QB sneak with Henny. I mean, that may have been the situation too. Like, oh yeah, we haven't actually practiced this. Like,
Yeah, I mean the QB sneak is one of those plays where like yes, you just like anything you need to practice it. It's not Madden where you're just like, all right, QB sneak, we're always going to get at least like a yard out of it.
right. But I mean,
Like
it's
that's
pretty rare that it doesn't work in the NFL. It's pretty rare.
yeah, it is, but also like players who do it have like practiced it over and over
Yeah,
again.
that's what I'm
Like
saying. So like, yeah,
like the Drew Brees play where he like extends out to the end zone. That's something he's done many times. Tom Brady's maybe the best of all time at QB sneaking.
he's really good at it. He's also huge, so that helps. uh,
Yeah. I am wondering why like Matt Ryan never really like
I think it's
why are
goddamn Dirk Cutter, man.
yeah,
he
it's
he
like,
did it some under Shanahan.
yeah, it's like come on, Matt Ryan's 6'4" and he's a pretty
He's
big
like
dude.
230. Yeah.
Like he should be able like it's not like you're asking Russell Wilson to just like QB sneak like
No.
up the middle every time.
No, I'm sure Matt Ryan can QB sneak just fine. Every time they've asked him to do it, he's done it well. So like, I don't really get it. But yeah, man, imagine like Trey Lance on that QB sneak, brother. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, imagine that Trey Lance in a Falcon. Imagine a quarterback not Matt Ryan in a Falcons
Oh yeah,
uniform.
yeah. In 2022, people, okay, calm down. Like we're talking 2022 here when we see
Yeah.
Trey Lance take the field, but
Not next year.
not next year. Yeah, not 2021, 2022, but yeah, man. Oof.
Oh, the Packers are inside the 10 very quickly.
Yeah, they're working it. They're working it. I mean, I don't think they're just gonna fall over, but man, they got
they're not. Like
they got a ways to go.
there it is. There's a touchdown.
All right, here we go.
Robert Tunyon.
Robert Tonyan.
That's someone where if you like picked him up in fantasy this year,
Yeah.
that was tight end is a wasteland.
It is a wasteland. Yeah.
Behind like Kelsey and Darren Waller this year, it was an absolute wasteland.
Yeah,
I think
that's always-
Hawkinson was number 3.
TJ Hawkinson, yeah. I mean, part of that was like George Kittle was hurt, so like that was the other big time tight end.
Yeah,
but,
Kittle was
yeah.
hurt, but even if he's healthy, that's 3 tight ends.
Yeah, that's 3. Instead of 2, it's 3. Yeah, that's why I always take Kelsey with my late first or early second round pick.
I mean, Hawkinson.
He was pretty good.
That was a top 10 pick a couple of years ago. You
right?
know?
Yeah.
The Lions. God, they just love taking tight ends high. They took Eric
do,
Ebron.
Man. Yeah.
It took Ebron as well, but
at least Hawkinson can block though. Like Ebron can't block worth that save his life, but Hawkinson can block.
We were looking into trading with the Lions a couple of years ago to move up for Ed Oliver, but they ended up rejecting us and taking Hawkinson instead.
Yeah, that's true. I remember that there was buzz about us trading for Hawkinson.
No, not Hawkinson. We were trading up for that pick. Like we weren't going to take Hawkinson. We were going to take Oliver. I think
that's right. Yeah. Ed Oliver. Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
The Lions. They decided to take their guy, which I respect it. You don't know if your guy's going to be there later on if you trade back.
Right.
But so they said no. We're going to take Hawkinson instead. So I mean, good for you guys, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I don't think he's proven to be worth a top 10 pick, but
Right. Yeah, it doesn't sound like it. Yeah.
Yeah, they sure as hell need defense from what I can see, but congrats on your tight end.
Yeah, congrats. Yeah, I mean, yeah, George, like I know we're like saying we don't want the Falcons to take Kyle Pitts at like 4, but Kyle Pitts is absolutely going to be a first rounder. He's probably going to be a top 15 pick when it's all said and done. I think like his floor is New England. So Pitts is absolutely going to be a first round pick and very exciting player, obviously. Thanks also to Chris Lane and 02TPT3 for your subscriptions. We appreciate you guys subscribing. Thank you. That's a good opportunity to remind you guys, if you haven't already liked the show, please do. That helps other folks find us on YouTube. And like I said, subscribe as well. Check the show description for our Patreon if you're interested in getting involved with that. And our community Discord server as well. If you're looking to talk Falcons during the week, we've got a nice little community going there as well. So check that out, folks.
I should get in on the Discord.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, DW pops in from time to time. Got
Yeah.
some regulars on there.
I need to actually download Discord though. I think I took it out when we stopped using it.
Oh yeah, we used it for like a few meetings, I think.
Yeah, the infamous Dave onboarding call meetings.
Yes, it took a while to get those, but yeah, once it did, it was worth it. So
Yeah, it's a running joke because Dave never onboarded Carter Brazil, who
that's
to this
right.
day still
Yeah,
asks
Carter
about
Brazil still needs
well,
it.
Dave, when's the onboarding meeting? And then
Right.
Dave just like leaves.
Yeah, Dave exits the chat. Yeah, Dave exits the chat, makes a new chat every time that happens. So.
No, we've had we're on our 100th chat at this
Yeah, there's a
point.
lot of chats. That there have been many iterations of the chat over the years.
I mean, either way, the Super Bowls are going to be fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said earlier, like I'm hoping for the Bills just because since I live in upstate New York now, like there's no, like I have to root for the Bills. Like I feel like if I don't, Bills Mafia is gonna find me, and hunt me down. So I got to cover my bases there. I also think the Bills are just a fun team. Like I love Mahomes, like that's why I like the Chiefs, but I think I have to go with my,
I enjoy the Bills fan base. Like, yes, I also love no matter who wins in the AFC, I'm going to root for them in the Super Bowl. Especially now, like we're getting dangerously close to Tampa Bay winning a second one.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? But it's yeah, the Bills, like their like fan base is just, we talked about it last week, best in the NFL.
Yeah, yeah, they're a lot of fun. They get a rep for like being wild, but like they're not all that wild. Like they're really just like fun. Like they're just a fun fan base, and there of course are some wild ones. But every fan base has wild fans, so let's not pretend like it's Bills only that has wild fans. I definitely like that tweet of the guy that had like checked 3 tables on the plane to bring with him to the Chiefs stadium. Checked 3 like folding tables. That's commitment right there.
I remember a few years ago when they played the Jags in the playoffs, and this was during the Saxonville year, when Jacksonville was actually good for like the only time in the past like decade and a half.
Yeah.
And yeah, Jacksonville wins its like division. They have that playoff game. It's Buffalo's first playoff game since I think the Music City Miracle. And that was the year when Dalton had that like big win for them, and they ended up donating to Dalton's like charity or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're playing in Jacksonville, and you think the Jacksonville community would just be like completely like hype and like packing the stadium because they haven't like also been in the playoffs since Garrard in 2007.
Right.
That kind of looked like a flag in my view, but Godwin's not complaining.
Yeah, no.
And I remember watching Bills Mafia took over. Like they took over that stadium. They took over that like tailgate. They brought their like folding tables with them in the airport.
Yep.
And it was just like before the game in front of the Jag Stadium, it was just like all Bills fans. And the stadium wasn't even like fully Jags fans either.
No.
Like
really
Bills
sad.
fans made like 20-30% of it.
Oh yeah.
And I remember that was one of maybe the most boring playoff game I've ever like watched in my life. It was 7-6.
Yeah, that was a pretty bad playoff game. Oof.
Yeah, I think the Jags like got a touch. Like their only touchdown was a play action 4th and goal to their fullback or something like that.
Hell yeah.
From the 1.
Fullback nation.
And then the next week they just destroy the Steelers.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's right. Yeah, they did. They like crapped on the Steelers the next week. That was wild.
Yeah, Big Ben threw like 5 picks, and I'm always here for Big Ben, like shitting the bed.
Yeah. Shout out to other playoff chokers. Yeah.
But and then like they kind of got robbed against the Patriots.
Yeah.
Got robbed. That Miles Jack fumble recovery, they just like happened to blow it dead.
Yep. Yeah, that was stupid.
That would have been. Imagine if the Jags had like won that Super Bowl.
Yeah, that would have been
that
wild.
year.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, at that point, it's like you can't even say anything about it.
Yeah.
But like, no matter how bad they've been, how bad they are, it's like, hey, they like won one.
They did. They won one, so nobody can say anything.
That could be a swing. Brady throws a bad pick.
Oh, there you go.
Third in a double coverage.
Oof. This could be like
This
the
game is
opening
not
they
over.
needed. Yeah, it could be the opening they needed. That's what it took to send it the other way last week. So,
Yeah, I was gonna say it reminds me of the Antoine Winfield play
yeah.
against the Saints where he forced a fumble on Cook.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I would love for the Packers to pull this out personally.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like that too. Just so we can, clearly have someone to root against. I mean, either
I
way,
mean,
we're gonna have someone to root
I'd
against.
be
But
clearly rooting against the Bucs, but yeah,
yeah,
I would very much love a Packers Chiefs Super Bowl. That would
that would
be
be
so
fun.
fun.
That would be fun. I think Packers Bills would be fun too.
Yeah, I mean it goes without saying that Packers need some points here. Like they cannot
Yep.
afford to punt this ball away.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see, Lil Rebel. Who do we think is breaking out for the Falcons next year? I think Davidson can still be a quality starter. Yeah, I mean, look, people are writing off Marlon Davidson completely. Like the guy was like injured in training camp, finally made it back, then got hurt again, and then I mean, he had just a rough rookie year. Like, I wouldn't put too much stock in it. Like, I wouldn't expect some crazy good season from him or anything like that, but I also wouldn't really base anything on his 2020. Like, Marlon Davidson just didn't really get a chance, and he already had to work on like a really truncated offseason anyway with COVID. So he's gonna get a fresh start this year within DP's defense. He's probably gonna play 3-4 defensive end. So we'll see how that fit works for him. I think it's a good fit for him. He played a little edge in college too. And 3-4 defensive end is kind of like a hybrid edge / interior position. I think that's a good fit for him. So I'm excited to see what he does there. Breakout player. Do you have a breakout player in mind, Adnan? Someone who's already on the roster?
Yeah, I mean definitely like Davidson. Just to add to the point, this year will be his actual rookie season. Like he this past year, he just like he had that injury. He had to go through COVID. Like he probably wasn't like conditioned. He wasn't ready. So it was just like one of those seasons where when it rains, it like just completely pours.
Right, right. Welcome back,
Um,
Evan.
hey Evan. I will say, don't know if it counts as a breakout. Michael Walker
Yeah,
is
yeah.
a name on my mind. He had a very great he had that score this past year. Very good in coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there's Rogers getting a free play, and Rogers should have made. Oh, that went right through the hands. Oh, that's going to be an unnecessary roughness too.
Wow. Okay. Well, we're getting things moving here.
Yep, getting things cooking right now. But yeah, I'm going to go with Michael Walker.
Okay, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's going to take another step in year two.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope Caleb McGarry breaks out next year. Like that would be a boon for this team if Caleb McGarry can become one of the better right tackles in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, he was like fine this year. He was fine, but nothing special per se. But like I know, like D-Led tweeted it out, and like D-Led is under the impression that the Falcons are just this like awful pass protecting team because they gave up 40 plus sacks. Like they threw the ball 620 something times. Like if you throw the ball that many times, you're gonna give up a lot of sacks. Like if you actually like Ryan Tannehill for the Titans, by the way, Ryan Tannehill threw the ball less than 500 times. So if Matt Ryan throws the ball less than 500 times and you give him the same sack rate, which for the record, Falcons were about league average in sack rate, so they weren't really this disaster of an offensive line. So,
and I will say Rodgers missed a wide open Devontae Adams on that free play.
Yeah, yeah.
What like that? I'm talking touchdown.
Oh yeah, there was like no one in his zip code. Yeah,
like inside the 10.
Yeah, yeah.
At the very worst, but yeah, it's yes, McGarry wasn't a complete McGarry was better than he was in his rookie year because in his rookie year he was the worst tackle in the NFL more or less.
Yeah, yeah. Also missed his entire, training camp, so that probably contributed, but
yeah, he did, but I need him to be like worlds better
Yeah.
if he's going to be worth that.
First
Yeah,
round
that
pick.
first round
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah, he needs to be better, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, I know folks are asking like, are we officially moving to the 3-4? Like, Dean Pease does run a base 3-4, but like it is kind of a hybrid scheme. He likes to move players around. He likes to do a lot of creative stuff. So like, I wouldn't get like too focused on like, oh, do we have all these 3-4 personnel? Like, it's really probably not going to look like drastically different in terms of how they line up. There will be more 3-4 looks incorporated than there were under Quinn, but yeah, I mean, it is a base 3-4, but for for reference, I think Pease's defense in 2019 played base 3-4 like 12% of snaps. Like, they were a base nickel defense, just like every other defense in the NFL. They played a lot of dime and stuff like that too. So Pease is going to adapt the scheme to whatever talent he has, which is why he's such a great fit for Arthur Smith. They're both coaches that are going to mold their scheme around their players, not the other way around. So there will be more 3-4 stuff incorporated, but I wouldn't get too hung up on like, is it a strict 3-4 or not? But there are certainly there's more room, I think, for 3-4 outside linebacker edge players on this defense than there were in Quinn's defense, for example. So, like, I don't think they mind being a little bit lighter on the edge. And I think, and by that same token, they're probably going to look for a bigger nose tackle eventually. It might not be this year. They could save $2.5 million by moving on from Tyler Davison. They also have to eat, like $2 million in dead cap. So it's not like a great move to move on from him. But, if they want to go after a big nose tackle, someone who's more like 330 instead of 315, that's a possibility as well. All right, Green Bay. Let's see it.
Green Bay is moving it down. Telling you, if they get this touchdown,
that would go a long way.
But man, what a run! What an effort!
He just trucked that dude. He just carried him like 5 yards.
It's not easy to carry a grown man 5 yards when like other grown men are actively trying to take you down.
Mm-hmm. Smorgasbord 9. Will Arthur Smith play Russell Gage more?
Russell Gage played a lot this past year.
Russell Gage played a lot, so I find it hard to believe that Gage will play more snaps. He might play about the same. Like, I think the Falcons are going to use more 11 personnel than the Titans did, just because they have really good wide receivers. But Arthur Smith was also a lot more willing to use 2 tight ends. It'll probably depend on who the Falcons have at tight end. They're probably not going to really have the money to go out and get like a quality tight end 2 unless they're able to draft someone. So yeah, I mean, I suspect the Falcons are going to be a base 11 team, kind of like they were under Cutter, but they're probably going to do a lot more West Coast stuff. Like, they're going to be a lot more play action, a lot more rollouts and bootlegs for Matt Ryan. It's going to look more like Kyle Shanahan's offense, honestly. Like, Arthur Smith's offense is not that different from Kyle Shanahan's offense. So
yeah, the main difference is Shanahan utilized the running backs more in the passing game.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that could be a product of Henry not being a great receiving back, but I wouldn't expect that was just a great dimension to have. That's one of the big things with Shanahan and Arthur Smith, that we won't have that dimension, but this offense compared to Cutter's offense will be just like galaxy brain.
Yeah. And also, like what was it?
We'll see a lot of motions.
Yeah.
We'll see a lot of adjustments. We'll see a lot of adaptation. It's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be very analytical.
Yeah. He used pre-snap motion, I think, the most of any team. I think he used it on like over 60% of plays.
A lot of first down play actions.
Yep. A ton of play action. I mean, they ran play action, I think, on like 70% of their plays or something. So like, it's gonna be play action. So like, if you were hoping for play action, like, it's coming. Like, we're gonna have play action. It's gonna be almost every single play. So
it's not gonna be 2nd and 10 runs up the middle.
Yeah. No 2nd and 10. I mean, yeah, not gonna have to deal with that too much.
Speaking of throwing out of the backfield, I freaking love the wheel route.
Yeah, the wheel route's great. Yeah, Cutter inexplicably just didn't really ever use it. It was weird.
Oh, that's it was especially weird. One of my favorite routes in football. I don't think I saw Cutter use it once.
No. And it's weird because he did in 2018 or in 2019. Like Devontae Freeman caught like 60 passes in 2019. But then like this year, just the pass, like the running back pass was just like forgotten until like the last 4 weeks of the season. It was just bizarre. But Cutter was just clearly in over his head. I mean, we've talked about this. But yeah, the other thing is that Smith has been less likely to use a fullback. He only used the fullback, I think, on like 10 to 12% of plays, whereas Shanahan uses it more on like 20 to 30% of offensive plays. So, Keith Smith is probably going to be more of a special teamer, less of an offensive component. But, the Titans also didn't have a particularly interesting fullback. They had, Kari Blasingame or whatever, who's just kind of like a guy. Keith Smith might be a little bit more exciting option at fullback to use, so maybe they use the fullback a little bit more, but he doesn't do as much fullback stuff as Shanahan does. We know Shanahan's obsessed with fullback stuff. Kyle Juszczyk gets a lot of work in San Francisco. Patrick DeMarco did too. So
that's gonna be helmet to helmet.
Oh man! All right. Well, it's getting
They're
spicy.
gonna have a 1st and goal inside the 5.
Yeah, it's getting spicy down there.
Yeah, I know exactly what Bucs fans are feeling right now. Exactly what they're feeling.
Yeah.
God, I've had.
Did they just yank Aaron Jones because of the fumbles?
Probably.
Oh, that was pure helmet to helmet.
Yeah, that was
like,
terrible.
He didn't even pretend like he wasn't.
Yeah, man, that was not.
God, that was as egregious as Dante Fowler's trip.
Sticking his foot out. My goodness.
Oh my God, it was like something out of like an Acme like cartoon.
Yeah. Just launched his head right into him, man. Oof.
I literally have no idea what the hell he's complaining about.
It's like,
That's always been so like weird to me. It's like, you know what you did. Like the ref called it. Like,
yeah.
What are you complaining about? You just got caught.
Yeah.
There we go. First and goal from the 2. We'll see a lot of this with the Falcons this year, hopefully.
Yeah.
I think we'll see some Ryan rushing touchdowns this year too.
I think so too. Yeah. I mean, Ryan Tannehill got a bunch. He had what, like
Tannehill
8?
had 7.
Yeah.
In fairness, like
7.
Henry,
So
like,
crazy.
Everyone like crashes in on Henry, but like a lot of those touchdowns were just like him pulling out the like read option.
Oh yeah, like I mean,
Like,
a lot of them he
keeping
just walked right in. Like he didn't have to do anything fancy. Like he just walked into the end zone.
Yeah,
So.
I know that infuriated like
Yeah.
Henry owners.
Mm-hmm.
Like
But,
you see him 1st and goal, like the cameraman even like goes with Henry most of the time.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I wrote an article about it. You guys can check it out on the site about how the Falcons don't need Derrick Henry or a Derrick Henry type to run Arthur Smith's offense. The reason for that is like the wide zone can accommodate a wide variety of running backs because really what matters is how's your vision, how's your patience, can you make the correct reads? Can you make the correct read to bounce it outside or bend it inside? You have to be able to make those decisions well. And if you can't, you're going to be a bad zone scheme running back. And if you can, you're going to be a good zone scheme running back. That's how Kyle Shanahan turns all these guys off the street into like 5+ yards per carry rushers. So,
and I would like to, after this 3rd down. Well, let's watch this 3rd down.
Let's watch this 3rd down.
They bring a blitz, and there is wide open Devontae Adams slant. I think he beats Carlton Davis on the inside.
Yeah.
You knew an Adams touchdown was coming.
Yeah, I mean you can't keep him down forever. Yeah, Bucs are starting to get tired out there. You can see it. They were playing him really well early.
14 straight points.
Yeah, it's starting to get spicy.
The Bucs are down both starting free safety. Oh, what a slant!
Yeah, that was a great slant. Michael Thomas, take notes.
No, Michael Thomas, in fairness, slant boy is really good at slants.
Yeah. He's good at his one thing. So.
Yeah, he's good at the slants, but anything else.
Yep.
Going for 2.
Yeah, it's smart to go for 2.
Yeah. This is fine. It's late in the 3rd quarter.
Well, yeah, and then that 25 gets you within a field goal. So.
You never want to chase the points, but it's late enough to where.
Yeah.
Sure.
And like if you don't.
Oh, what a drop!
Oh, what the hell?
That's Equinemius St. Brown.
Equanimous or like drop. Equanimous, same brand.
Drop Nimius St. Brand.
Come back to me. Come back to me. I can do better.
Yeah, he's not seeing the field.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is gonna
that was so bad. That hit him in the chest. But
Doink.
Rodgers is like just eviscerating him in his mind.
Yeah,
right
St.
now.
Brown's like not gonna be allowed on the plane. He's just gonna have like Aaron Rodgers bouncer, just gonna be at the bottom of the stairs to the plane, just like refusing to let him on.
He's about to take a seat.
Yeah,
Like he's about to take a seat, and he's not like getting up from that seat anymore. He's not getting back into this game after that.
yeah, doink. Yeah, that's not great, brother. Gonna have to hold on to that.
Yeah, Rodgers like holds that against receivers.
Oh
If they,
yeah,
like,
oh yeah. Rodgers is petty as hell.
yeah. If they like drop a pass, he's not going back to them.
Oh no, yeah. All right, I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. It'll be up to Adnan and Evan to entertain the great people for a few minutes. So I'm handing it off to you guys now. Enjoy it.
Okay.
Enjoy your newfound power.
Yes, I will topple the Falcoholic kingdom with this power. I think Evan. No, I think Evan may be gone too. No, the point I was trying to say to Little Rebel asking about if it's a failure to get 4 starters in 2016 and only keep 1. I don't think that in itself is a failure, just because when you draft a player, you're drafting him for his rookie contract more so than anything. I think the real failure is not adding to that great 2016 class, because the Falcons had an opportunity to build on that class. That 2017 draft was one of the worst in recent memory. They got Duke Riley, traded up for Tack McKinley, both complete busts. Brian Hill was in that class, like he was okay. But yeah, the draft classes after 2016 haven't been very good. And, I think that in itself is more egregious than, not re-signing everyone from 2016, because Deion Jones he got a second contract. Keanu Neal, you just can't you can't predict injuries. Man had 2 catastrophic injuries to his lower body. So if he's not at return, then I'll completely understand why. And also in Dean Pease's scheme, I don't think Neal is really a great fit in the scheme. Like his coverage isn't really that great anymore, especially not after all the injuries. Like he's a great box to box guy. He's a great box safety. He's a great run stopper. But yeah, it's if we don't bring Neal back, I'll understand why. Just because his coverage isn't fantastic, and it'll be completely up to Dean Pease if he wants to or not. I think they'll absolutely consult with him a lot with it. But yeah, I think that 2017 draft was just that was the opportunity. If the Falcons were going to make it back to the Super Bowl, they had to hit on 2017. And it's just like a cautionary tale. The 2012 draft was also a catastrophe, and that resulted in a rebuild having to happen, especially after giving all those picks in 2011. Like a bad draft class can set your franchise back a few years, and we saw that. And yeah, 2018 was a good draft class. Calvin Ridley, Foy was very late, Gage was very late. Ito also a day 3 pick, but it's I don't know if it completely makes up for that egregious one in 20. Especially imagine if you got T.J. Watt in 2017, you didn't even have to trade up for him. That's your pass rusher. You have that pass rusher, and man, Rodgers is livid right now. No, Foy was not 2017. I think Foy was 2018. He was the 200th pick out of Yale in 2018.
Yeah, 2018 6th rounder. Great pick.
Yeah, fantastic pick. The Falcons, we're just talking about that draft. The issue is that draft was solid, but Isaiah Oliver in round 2 and Deidrin Sanat in round 3 were just bad picks.
Yeah.
Like
We'll
there's
see,
no
right? This is
sugarcoating
Dejan
how
Sanat's
bad.
redemption year. This is Dejan Sanat's redemption year right now. So.
Yeah, like we don't even know if he's actually like exists at this point, but
Right. I mean,
But yeah,
like, honestly, like, every time he played, he, like, graded out well in PFF, so it's just like, why wasn't he playing? It's just strange.
I mean, Ito Smith is like fine. He was a fourth rounder. He's like
Yeah.
decent. Gage and Aluakin were what saved that draft. Both six
Yeah.
rounders. Like those were fantastic picks. Like for the value.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah, Lil
have
Rebel.
you?
Dejan Sanat over Maurice Hurst. Yeah, that's killer. I think we all knew that was a bad decision at the time,
Yeah,
too.
like Calvin Ridley was a very good pick. I have
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
qualms with that one at all. I mean, if you really want to play the game of like who could we have gotten? Like sure, like if you Lamar Jackson went afterwards, we weren't really in the market for a quarterback.
No, yeah, that didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, Nick Chubb went. I mean, Cortland Sutton to the Broncos, who isn't as good as Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
Uh, Darius Leonard was an All-Pro as a rookie, so
Mhm.
I mean, sure you can play that game for like any pick,
Yeah.
except for the Grady Jarrett one. The Grady Jarrett one was just
Right.
like pure
Yeah,
perfection.
there was, yeah.
Yeah,
Chef's
and then
kiss.
Isaiah Oliver in round 2, that was just like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was excited for it because we were
I liked
talking
Isaiah
about
Oliver.
like to get Isaiah Oliver in the first round, then we like got him in the second round. That was like a lot of you're thinking that's a lot of value right there.
Yeah. I mean, I personally think they just never really deployed him correctly. Like, they just, like, well, the problem was, like, Isaiah Oliver was a matchup corner for big receivers. Like, he's a guy that isn't great in terms of being able to make cuts and follow guys on these in-breaking routes and, like, keep up with these quick receivers. And since Quinn was completely unwilling to play matchups with his corners, other teams were just smart and were like, you know what? We're going to make sure that we get, our quick, fast guy on Isaiah Oliver, who's going to have no chance in hell of keeping up with him. So there you go. And they would never let Oliver play matchups against big receivers. And, like, then his confidence got shattered, and, like, he also just never developed. Like, he never really got any better, too. So
I also love them like putting him on DK Metcalf one-on-one
yeah.
with no safety help. What a play! Is that Jair Alexander? No, it's Kevin King. Redemption.
Oh man, the
for
redemption.
Kevin King.
The redemption.
Yeah, he was beat by Evans, but like great close down speed and no, Evans just dropped it.
Okay,
Evans
yeah.
just dropped it. Never
Yeah, I
mind.
was
I mean,
like,
King was. I thought King like batted it down, but no, that was just a drop.
yeah, okay. Well, at least he was in the zip code this time.
Yeah, in fairness, that would have been a really bad look had he.
Got dusted
held
again.
off.
Yeah.
Man, that was a clutch third down conversion. That reminded me of the Mohamed Sanu days.
Yeah.
Man, that was I cannot understate how important that was.
Oh yeah.
If
Yeah,
the Bucs had to punt right there, ooh.
You can tell the Packers are really mad about it. Yeah, Tyler Johnson with that clutch catch there. Great catch.
Man, Tyler Johnson, good for him. Gonna
Yeah, he
get
hasn't gotten to play a lot. He hasn't really got. I know he missed a lot of time with the injury. So
not gonna play a lot next year either. Apparently, they want to bring back Antonio Brown.
and
We'll
Chris
see what they
Godwin?
do with Godwin, but
Yeah.
I don't think they'll let him go.
No, so that's a lot of money tied up with wide receivers. If they got that'll be what 3 wide receivers on premium deals. That's not going to happen. I don't think. But
I mean, how much is Brown really gonna make?
I don't know. I mean, assuming he doesn't get arrested again this offseason, he's probably asking for big money again. But I mean, that's not a safe assumption at all. So I mean, if I'm them, I'm letting Brown walk. Like, sure, he's been good, but like, is he worth like committing to for any amount of time? No.
Yeah, Godwin. Godwin was a star last year.
Godwin, you absolutely do. But is Fournette a free agent? I think so. And for the record, I'm not interested. I don't think Fournette is worth bringing in. If you can't catch, I don't want you. Like, Fournette cannot catch. So I think you need to be versatile enough to be able to catch the football from time to time. And if you can't, you're just going to telegraph what your offense is doing on any given play. And I just, I'm not a fan of that. So, oh, they're going to get too many men on the field. That guy was just jogging off. He wasn't even trying to get off the field in time. He was just like fully jogging. He's like, "Oh damn, I can't believe it!" Like, yeah, dude, like you were like super late getting off, and you just kind of like, I mean, I guess he was a big dude, so maybe that's not fair. He was like hustling a little bit, but
you gotta hustle a little
you gotta
harder.
You gotta book it if you're late.
Championship game, bro. Come on now.
You gotta book it if you're late. Like,
yeah, that's a big penalty.
Yeah. Noah Cook. What do we? Oh yeah, go ahead. On.
And I was just gonna say, this is I don't blame the Packers at all for going for 2, but if you did want to make the counterpoint for why they shouldn't have, it's if the Bucs kick a field goal right now, then you're forced to go for 2 next time.
Yeah.
If you score a touchdown, of course.
Yeah.
But
that is, yeah.
But yeah, it's like I say, it was the right call in my opinion, just based on that's something you have to like feel out. You have to feel
exactly.
And there's a pick.
Wow.
Again, it was a little high off the hands of Evans again, but man, that was
Brady coming down to earth.
That's another game-changing play right there.
Yeah, man, they were driving. My goodness.
Man, those Packers fans are having the time of their lives right now.
It's getting lit out there in Green Bay. It's cold. They got to start making some noise to stay warm.
That was a bit high.
Yeah.
Like Evans got both hands on there, but he was fully stretched.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
But yeah, again, with the 2-pointer, if they score a touchdown here, you have to go for 2 to go up by field goal. Yeah. But yeah, it was the right play. St. Brown, you're a wide receiver, man. Like you have to catch that.
Yeah.
You have got to catch that.
That was a great play by Jair too. He didn't even. I can't believe he caught that and okay, his knee did go down. I thought he his ankles bent somehow and he didn't actually go down there. That would have been crazy. But it was still a really good play. But yeah, tremendous. All right, so Noah Cook is asking our thoughts on our new coordinators. So Dean Pease at defensive coordinator, Marquise Williams at special teams coordinator, and Dave Ragone at offensive coordinator. The big one obviously is Pease because everyone knows about Pease. That's an amazing hire. The Bucs the Titans defense fell off a cliff after he retired. Off a cliff. They went from 10th in scoring to 27th. And the personnel was the same. It just Mike Vrabel, it just actually surprised. Maybe he's not the architect of that defense. Maybe it was Dean Pease. Maybe that's why they didn't get along so well.
It absolutely was.
Yeah.
I'm not a Vrabel believer at all. When your offense carries your team the way Arthur Smith's did, and when your defense falls off a cliff after your defensive coordinator leaves, that says something about your ability to coach what's on the field.
Yeah, that team it really feels like the Falcons to me, that Titans team. Great offensive coordinator, running back playing out of his, mind. Freeman for the Falcons was having great seasons too. And the defense really is not good, but you have a defensive head coach and you can't keep the offensive coordinator from leaving. So that's kind of what I'm thinking they might have to deal with now. But yeah, I love the Dean Pease hire. That is so huge. Not that it would be hard for the Falcons defense to improve. It would be very difficult if they didn't improve. So I expect them to improve. I think they'll probably be about league average. They don't have tremendous talent, but I mean, Dean Pease makes a big difference. He's a coach that actually makes a difference, which is the complete opposite of what the Falcons have had. So this is going to be the year I think we find out that this roster was actually able to compete for the playoffs. Maybe not be a true contender, but compete for the playoffs every year. And it was squandered by Dan Quinn and Dirk Cutter.
And I would like to compliment Jair Alexander, who, in my opinion, is the best cornerback in the NFL for that play. He was not covering Mike Evans at all. I think he was covering Scotty Miller. And the reason why he was even in position to get the pick is because he saw Brady throw the ball. He saw it's not going to his man, and he went to go help out on Mike Evans. So even if Evans like caught that pass, he would have been tackled short of the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
But that was just fantastic awareness by Jair Alexander to get a pick off someone who's not his man at all, because he started like retreating toward Evans. That's one of those things you like. That's just great instincts as a cornerback. That's not something you really teach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was tremendous. Yeah.
But Alexander, like, you see his numbers against some of the best wide receivers in the NFL. And,
he's been a huge hit for them.
Yeah, he gave up -3 yards last week.
Yeah, that's true. That's crazy.
Yeah, he held Ridley to 0 catches when Julio was out.
Yeah. I was surprised. I thought Ridley was going to go off that week. But
yeah, it's shout out to Alexander. He's fantastic.
Yeah, Joe, I mean, we may be misunderstanding the whole Vrabel thing, but like, and I know you mentioned it in one of your comments that like even though they didn't have a defensive coordinator, like they had some other coach called plays. So like, I guess I just don't understand that decision, because like if Vrabel's not going to be your defensive coordinator and you're not going to have a defensive coordinator in name, I don't know why you're not going to have a defensive coordinator. That's like just not something that teams generally do. So like, I guess I blame them for not replacing Dean Pease. Like, if it wasn't Vrabel calling the plays, then whoever they gave the play calling to didn't do a good job. So I mean, you are saying like Vrabel's the CEO type that oversees the whole team, and that's great, but like he didn't oversee the defense well. I guess we'll see if he's better managing the offense, because they're gonna obviously have to make a big adjustment here, and there's a sack on Rodgers by the Bucs. But yeah, that was a really bad decision to move Jarrell Casey for peanuts too. Like I had no idea why they made that move. Like it didn't make any damn sense to me. They were just like, oh yeah, we can get like a day 3 pick for Jarrell Casey. Might as well. Like, what? Like one of your best defensive players, you're just gonna move on from because you're like, oh, we have what's his name, Jeffrey Simmons, so we don't need Jarrell Casey anymore. Yeah, guess what? Injuries happen. So. Yeah, and we did hear, that Vrabel was trying to get Dean Pease back out of retirement, and he was like, "Yeah, no, I want to go with Arthur Smith." So